Hey, it's Friday. How's everybody doing? It's time for your daily dose of mandatory fun. But at least it's Friday. You don't have to put up with this shit tomorrow. No, you don't. However, tomorrow I will be on with Hinderer Collects. It's, I guess, his very first time having someone on his channel. So I did put a post up here on the old YouTubes and, the meta social media outlets, Instagram and Facebook. So, maybe swing by, show the guy some support. He's pretty passionate about what he's doing. I'm a huge fan of full disclosure. I really am. I just woke up like an hour ago. I don't know if I needed it or what, but I'm not rubbing that in. I promise. I promise. Lord Palpatine, what's up? Good to see you. Skydro Walker says, let's frickin' go. Good afternoon, man. I'm making an effort to say the F-bomb less. Yeah, I don't know. See, this is what I'm talking about. Checking out the stream while I'm working. It's the whole point of mandatory fun. You can tune in while you're working, help the workday go by faster. Yeah. Yeah. Tomorrow we're gonna we're gonna break somebody in. It'll be awesome. So yeah, he said he's got a whole bunch of questions for me and all that stuff. I was like, you fire whatever you want at me, man. Crystal Clear wants to know from everyone. This would be a good poll, man. What's worse, being rickrolled or bushwookied? I don't know. What's up, Kevzilla? Good to see you, dude. Browncoat said, it's no biggie, Chad. I just woke up around 1 o'clock my time. Yeah, right on. I dig it. Medieval Alchemist says, Kiss sucks. There was a poll in the chat. I did recycle that poll. So which is worse, Kiss or Cold Slither? And you know what I need to do? I need to start remembering to go into the stream and end the damn polls. Twice I've screwed that up. So yeah, go vote in a poll. Kenzo, I gotta say, this dude, he and I had a really awesome conversation last night on the actual phone. So I love you, dude. Thanks for always being real, man. So I just wanted to say that. Just wanted to share that. I don't know. Milt Connor says the Bush Wookiee is life. Yeah, man. Joseph, what's going on, dude? Medieval Alchemist says rickrolled because I need my daily dose of Bush Wookiee. Okay, so getting rickrolled is worse. Now Titan says Bush Wookiee's worse. Triple D says I got my daily Bush Wookiee. I'm leaving. Milt Connor says all this talk about polls excites me.
I don't know, man. Seems kind of gay to me.
No, sir. No. Justin Booth, no judgment here, brother. I woke up 2 hours later than I normally do. That's the advantage of having time off. I got all the time off in the world. Browncoat says, I would have picked Kiss, but they're up against Cold Slither. I hate them more. Yeah. Right. It's not an easy one. It's not easy. Today we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna talk about, obviously, the main title is the Danny McBride G.I. Joe rebooting. But yeah, we're also going to talk about other stuff like we do on Mandatory Fun. It's always fun, but it's mandatory. So we're just going to kick this off right off the bat. I wanted to know if any of you backed this. Sorry, it's clickety-clicky time. Did any of you guys back this? The Retro Toy Quest G.I. Joe Wish book? Wish books, plural, because it's not even one book. I mean, that's the awesomeness of G.I. Joe, particularly a real American hero, which is why real American hero characters have been regurgitated ever since, the early 80s. Yeah. So I backed it. Oh, Kevzilla said totally missed it. Slade said nope, I didn't back it. No. Cooking with Eric. Am I the only one here who backed this? I don't know if you can still get in on it. First I've seen of this. Okay, Son of GTO backed it. Well, anyway, so they wound up, instead of being one book, it wound up being two books, like I already said. Patrick Strauko says, I have Dan's books. Do you have all 15 volumes? Carson's and Mark Belomo. Mark Belomo's guide is worth money. When I had him on the channel, he said he was looking at doing another run of it. Yeah. Browncoat didn't know it was a thing. Titan didn't know it was a thing. Medieval Alchemist never saw it. Triple D backed it. There you go, dude. Daniel Collins, with Transformers the movie getting re-released again in theaters, would G.I. Joe ever get a theatrical anniversary re-release? It did. Not an anniversary release like for the 87 movie, and maybe it will, but for the 50th anniversary, they put it back in theaters. But it was only like on the coasts. It was very limited. So I guess my answer directly would be, yeah, maybe. Maybe. It might be good to coincide that with McBride's movie. Yeah. Last I read, he's about to start filming that. Patrick Strauko backed it. Son of GTO can't wait to get it. I know, right? Gimme. Put it in my grubby hands, man. Pete says, I think so. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. Kenzo's got all the He-Man books because, you know, yeah. Son of GTO backed it. Next year is a good bet, as Classified is going hard for the 87 next year. I don't really have a comment on that. I mean, they've already done a bunch of the 87 stuff, but yeah. Joe Fan 84, what's up, brother? Popping in to say stuck at work, catching the replay. Thank you, my dude. The Pixel Dan Masters toy book is awesome. I've heard that. Yeah. I've heard that. There's a fly in here, and all it wants to do is hang out on my fucking person. Oh, I said the F word. I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to, just kind of icebreaker with this, and yeah, update 12 for backers only. They expanded it to 2 books. They expanded it to 2 books, and it's got a slipcover. Look at that. It's got that slipcase thing that the books go into. It just looks so good. Look at that. Oh, come on. Bug assault for flies. I catch that shit like Miyagi. Yeah. Medieval Alchemist really wants this book. While we're hanging out, you can go look on Kickstarter and see if it's still available. It does specifically say only for backers, but I don't know, for backers only. That it's 2 books. I don't know what that means, but usually with Kickstarters, you can kind of get in after it funds. I think it just depends. So, right? That thing is freaking awesome, man. That's a really awesome fucking slipcase. Damn it, I said it again. The Titan rumors are they may have a theatrical re-release of the Snake Eyes movie in Iran. Totally not connected, but now there's talk about unconditional surrender. Oh God, no. They should. We should also release all the Karens. Oh, you know what? We didn't do any of the intros. Man. Speaking of what to send to Iran for unconditional surrenders. It's Friday. And as always with live stuff, it's it's not always going to be super polished, and that's how it should be. So anyway.
What the hell is even that?
And now we're back on track. There you go. It is what it is. Slade says Pixel Dan did not write a book. He put other people's work together and he asked Twitter to help edit it. Oof. That's why it has a lot of mistakes in its copy. Is that true? If you're going to write a book, have some self-respect and get an editor. I am uninformed on the whole thing. I know that you're a writer, and I know that you take a lot of pride in being a writer. So, pardon me, Pete. I did back it. Just found my receipt in my Kickstarter folder. There you go, man. Yeah, I'm like, come on, where is it? Where is it? Let's go. Milk Connors, there's a trailer for Infidels, looks kind of Red Dawn-esque. It's just an upcoming movie. Maybe we could watch it. You guys want to check it out? Let me know in the comments if you want to check it out. That clip is like Mental Illness, the musical.
Chad, how insensitive of you.
It is, but that's also a good reminder, right? It's all about perspective. Just because people attack you because, they're allergic to things like truth and evidence and all that. They don't like different opinions. Those are the people that are attacking you, right? A couple of them had their own little circle jerk last night to like 15 people, and everybody and their mom had to send me clips of it, and I was like, nope, no, I don't give a shit. It's just laughable. Did the exact same thing that old shitbag Terry Island Viper did. Talking shit, won't name anybody. You know how it is. So, hi, Robert. It's good to see you. CJ says sigh, knock it off with Kiss. We said that was going to be a poll, right? We talked about that. Matt Noon, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Hell yeah, it's Friday. It is. Look, CJ, it's just fun. You just got to pick one. Which one's worse? Some people are fans of Kiss. Some people are fans of Cold Slither. To me, that's a hard poll for me to answer. Obviously, I can't vote in my own polls, but I would have a hard time with that. Yep. I did see the trailer for the Infidels movie. It looks pretty sick. Sci-Fi Swampman says, "Sure, why not? Why not watch it?" Yeah, we'll back burner that. Okay. In the Army, that's what we call parking lot. We're gonna parking lot that over here. Crystal clear. We need a mandatory fund dedicated to Red Dawn. I think we should pause X here for a second. Like we should put a pause. I was thinking about topics for next week. I've already got what would Destro do? And that's kind of a look at like practical real world military vehicles and just kind of have fun with it. Like, yeah, like is this something that Destro would get down with? Being the Mars Industries weapon designer and all that stuff. So I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, we can do Red Dawn. Yeah, we can talk about Red Dawn. If there's other stuff that you guys want to like specifically talk about, we can. Favorite playset, that might be fun because that covers, all sorts of lines. We could do that. But I always set out that mandatory fun would be very user-driven kind of a thing. So I want to talk about stuff that you guys want to talk about. Obviously there's some things that I'm passionate about, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Son of GTO says, I like Kiss, so I picked Cold Slither. There you go. Cooking with Eric. I never understood Kiss. Yeah, it is what it is. David Allen backed it. There you go, buddy. Back this. Whoop-blam! Whoop-blam! Oh, my Lord. Okay. Yeah. Cooking Eric says, but I'm confident Cold Slither is worse. Why are we just flipping around like this? It's weird. Hey, some people are fans of Cold Slither. Are those the same people that forgot to drink water or take their meds? Which other people said it too. I like to wait between clips, but yeah, that's what I heard.
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Yeah. Robert's Infinite Realms uploaded a video earlier today. Doing a figure comparison. What would Destro do? Yeah, exactly. Kind of thought about that. Favorite playsets would be awesome. Michael Zimmerman says, if I talk shit, I'm man enough to use names. When applicable, I'll gladly do it to their face. Absolutely. That's how it should be. Right. David Allen, I've worked with him on this book. It's far superior than Belomo's books. Whoa. I'm not saying that's a bold statement, but I'm really looking forward to these. Trust me, it's so detailed. I've seen some of the proofs of the pages, and yeah, man, I'm excited to get it. I really am. CJ has the touch, says the McFarlane 2-pack of Adam West Batman and Burt Ward Robin looks great. Wired capes and an unmasked Bruce head. I should get the 60s Batmobile Todd made. Dude, that's cool. Yeah, we can talk about how great Jeffy is all the time. Absolutely. Let's do it right now. Did you guys know that Jeffy's great? Yeah. Jeffy's coming to visit soon. We're going to barbecue ribs. Yeah, there you go. Medieval Alchemist says you can still get in on the book, but it's a basic edition. If you guys want to get in on the basic edition of the book, by all means, go check it out. Please, please do. I like Kiss thanks to Scooby-Doo. Don't ask. Okay, cool. Crusty Old Crow, what's up, man? All the way from the Great White North of Canada. It's good to see you, my dude. I thank you for reaching out the other day on the old Instagram and our conversation. I'm pounding coffee today, kids. Like I said, I just woke up like an hour ago. So, Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? We could talk about the life of Hugh Hefner. No. No. I still need to put that post here on YouTube about what topics would you guys like to see discussed. And again, to me, that's kind of the joy of this daily show is it can be anything. Anything. Downfall of Star Wars. What do you guys want to talk about? 2,000 to 4,000 hours to write. Is that Tolkien? Is it supposed to be Tolkien size book, not including how many revisions? Normally 3. Oh, okay. Kevzilla doesn't even know who the hell Jeff is. Yeah. Sci-Fi Swamp Man says I can't find it on Kickstarter. Well, if a mod wants to go look, because mods can put links in the chat, or I can do it, whatever. It's easier if a mod does it, by the way. It doesn't break up my flow. Medieval Alchemist says, yeah, I'm getting the Wish book. It looks beautiful. They're just all rad. I have the other 2 that were put out so far. Oh, they're great. Yep. Justin Booth. Everyone is fantasy casting the upcoming G.I. Joe film. Why don't we discuss who we would want to see cast in the Valaverse film? Oh, we can do that. There's an idea that doesn't get enough love or respect. Yeah, we could do that. We could. I do not have a problem with that whatsoever. Gonzo, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. I'll return that salute for you. Yeah, I figured you meant Tolkien, Slade. Toy Odyssey, good to see you. Can I ask you a military question? Absolutely. You 100% can ask me a military question. You know what I've never done? I've never done an AMA. Never. I've never done an AMA. I don't think anybody gives a shit, but I've never done one. Son of GTO, did you see that McFarlane is doing Helldivers 2 figures? Yeah. Sure did. Do you mean that specific one? I didn't see that one. I know he's doing figures, but I don't go to Walmart very often. You know what I mean? It's such a target-rich environment. I'm just not the biggest fan, but yeah. I've had one person send me a picture that says, oh, they're finally showing up at Walmart's, but that doesn't mean anything because we all know that distribution across the board is just busted. First, Chad badmouths Kiss. Now Hugh Hefner. It's like Chad hates fun. I don't hate fun. Come on now. Look, we all just have our own tastes. It's stuff that I know you're just joking, Michael, but I will always stress individuality, right? Over tribalism any day. I would hate to have a world full of me's. That would suck. And I like me, but yeah, that would totally suck. Because then it'd just be a bunch of mayonnaise people, which I'm not even mayonnaise. Come on, like I'm Italian. Italian American. You know what I'm saying? All right. I'm susceptible to sickle cell anemia. It's cool. Don't worry about it. I'm not all that mayonnaise, kids. But you know what I mean? I don't want a world full of me. Yep. This is what happens when someone rustles my jimmies. Understood? Valaverse needs Hemsworth for Karak. Which Hemsworth? Chris? Liam? Yeah. Are the Helldivers figures any good? Who knows? Who's seen them? That's the point. You know what? Like we should do one called Where's the Toys? That's what we should do. We should do one called Where's the Toys? And then like just talk about one, toy lines that were supposed to come out. Where the shit are they? And two, like stuff that we want to see toys of. Where are those? That might be cool. That'll be fun. Give me the cash. Where's this military question? Oh, is this the military question? Oh, if the president got kidnapped and you had 48 hours to save it and had access to any tier unit in the world, who would you choose and why? Well, see, this is where Met TC comes in, right? Mission, enemy, right? Troops available, time considerations, civilian considerations, like all that stuff. That's why Met TC is so important. Kidnapped, but where? Right? This is where all the questions start coming in. Where is he being held? What's the size of the force that's holding him? Who's holding him? All that stuff. Is he mobile? Is he stationary? I would still say Delta. Yeah, I would say Delta. I did missions with 3rd group, 10th group, 5th group. Where's 5th group? And those dudes they're masters of what is referred to as the level 10 task. There is no such thing as level 10. I could get into that, but it just means that they're masters of like the most basic military tasks. Yeah. Rangers are great, but they're not as much surgical as they are smashy smash. And Delta's more surgical. I would say Delta, personally. On to my second coffee now, kids. Yeah, I would say Delta. Mm-hmm. Just me. I've worked with both of them. They are both great at what they do. So, look, man, I Googled and tried to do the thing. What is this? I can't copy that. You know what? Screw it. Let's go look. Hold up. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's go look. We'll do that. We'll take the old slideshow off the screen for a minute. Jesus, man, how big is my screen? That's what she said. Okay, here. We'll remove this for a minute. I did. And maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I did pull up the Battle of Springfield from G.I. Joe Resolute. Since we're going to talk about the Danny McBride movie, and that's kind of really what it revolves around, like finding out what Springfield really is, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so Helldivers 2. Let's see. Oh, my Lord. Oh, snap-a-doo. There it is. $60? Let me get this shit off the screen. Jeff says, which president? The president, dude. The president. Again, right? Ours is not the reason why. Ours is but to do and die. We don't care about politics when we're in uniform. We just do our job. Don't ever touch the president or our ships. Elite Edition SA-04 Combat Technician action figure. Again, what's with his penchant for like too much yellow? Okay. That cape looks good. I will say that. The cape looks good. I don't know. Jeffy, what do you say, man? Smash or pass on this? I hate when people have the figures in this shit pose. Like almost like a... Yeah. I don't like that. You see this a lot with Classified too, where they're posed in this weird stance. No, he comes with some cool stuff. Oh, Jeff, is that your Bullet Storm right there? I think that's a Bullet Storm. If you know, you know, right? Packaging looks good, but $60. $60. No way. No. I would love to have some Helldivers figures. I would. I would totally get in on those, but $60? They're not cheap anywhere you go. Yeah, I'll just leave this up for a second. What's up, Eric? David Arbor could be cast as Trigger. I remember once a dude asked me if I like mayonnaise, but his accent sounded like he was asking, "You like my young ass?" Isn't that like Joe Dierte? That's cool, man. You like to see homos naked. That's cool. Doesn't help me any. Yeah. Have the old "Where's the Beef" lady on "Where's the Toys." Yeah, we could do that. Slade says Meal Team 6. Raw Talk says Rangers. Toy Odyssey Middle East. I'd go 22 SAS. Yeah, I mean, Special Air Service is good. I know that a lot of people saw it with, the snatch and grab of Maduro, but there are so many things that the Department of Defense has that no one knows anything about, like beyond top secret. Ridiculous things. Even on some of my deployments, has anyone ever heard of what a HELWIS is? HLWS? HELWS. High Energy Laser Weapon System. Have you ever heard of a HELWIS? They're freaking ridiculous. I mean, it is absolutely like Star Trek technology. Activate the vice president, bomb the target, use it to start a huge war, make crazy money. Man, I'm Cooking with Eric would send Lara Croft. No, call Snake Plissken. But that was it. I was being asked a legitimate military question. Otherwise I would just call G.I. Joe. Why not? I think it's a trick question because the obvious answer would be Megaforce. It would be. Yeah. Because I'm coming on like a Megaforce. Sci-Fi Swampman says, yeah, the Helldivers look amazing, but $60? No, I'm good. No, it'll be fine. And it's not the Lord scale. Yeah. Yeah, that's the figure. Were there any units that you worked with that you would consider less than professional or needed improvement? MPs, but that's just an MOS. I think on the spot, off the top of my head, it's really the generalized that I would answer. The Navy, like they can't even protect their own ports. They got to get somebody else to protect their ports. The Air Force, except for the ones that engage in like direct action, they're fucking cooked. Damn it. I said the F word again. And yeah, MPs. I'd rather hang out with like cooks and, mechanics, support staff than MPs they're still support. They're combat support, but yeah. MPs look for every chance to either sham out of work or stab you in the back. Yeah. They are blue falcons. Hey, how does the internet work? Yeah. I want to do an episode called Remember When. And it can be anything. Hey, remember when you could walk into KB Toys and all those Star Wars Episode 1 figures were in the discount bin? Yeah. Remember when you could walk into Toys R Us when G.I. Joe became a Toys R Us exclusive because fucking Hasbro, right? That might be a fun one. Remember when? Yeah. Might be cool. Justin Booth says $60 for a McFarlane figure. No. Absolutely. Yeah. Pass. What? HGC? I've seen Helldivers figures in Wally World a bunch recently. Dude, have you found like just the black one with the yellow piping, like the OG first issue suit? Because I don't want the ones that look like highlighters. The diaper bothers me. Yeah. This? I don't know about all that. And you don't really see him articulated. Well, I mean, a little bit. Oh, that's because it's soft. That's what it is. Okay. That's like a Sofuvi right there. All right. I see what they're doing. Yep. I don't know. I would have to get my my hands on one of them and then go from there. No squad helmet, no thank you. Yeah, our Helldiver squad, we all wear a particular helmet. Yep. You either got to get on board, right? You got to be dressed right, dressy, or you're out. Dude, how is it elite and still has pins? I don't think he has pins. Oh, he has pins. He does. He has pins. Yep. That's not the railgun. Look at the barrels on it. Plus, it has a drum. That one's not. That's not a railgun. This one right here? No. It comes with a lot more than that damn Date Night Skeletor. That's true, right? Same price? Or maybe Skeletor's more? Jay Cantu says, you're lucky it doesn't have Batman ears, seeing that's all Todd likes to do. I like his Batman stuff. You know, I mean, to a degree. But this has kind of been his wheelhouse lately. Take something and then just recolor it like nuts. Nuts. Todd's tripping. Jeffy's holding out for Joy Toy versions. Yeah, I'd be down with that. Looks like a Pittsburgh Steelers fan made it black and gold all the way. Black and yellow, black and yellow. Old cash grab Uncle Todd. Like you said, when you see them posed like that, 9 out of 10 times they can't stand by themselves. Oh, McFarlane's Batman stuff is notorious for not standing without a stand or a stand and leaning against something. Oh yeah, big time. Even my my Man Bat, he'll just randomly dive off the shelf. He just goes flying. So now I have him posed where he's on his knees with his arms and his wings out because he won't stand on his feet. His ankles are too shitty. God, I love Joe Dirt, right? Yeah, see, there you go. Jay says I would call in G.I. Joe. Did you see the French did that on an island a few years ago? No. Actually, Star Trek uses dude. Get out of here, man. Hell Whiz, is that like the brown note gun? No, it is not. Slade's seen a Hell Whiz going to cause medical problems in the future. Yeah, you can't be near them when they fire them up. They usually put them high on hills, or you know, they cordon them off somewhere in like a cantonment area, and they've got these lights all around it, because when that thing fires up, man, it will cook you from the inside. It will cook you. Sci-Fi Swampman says, I have a friend who worked on Hellwiz. Yeah. One part of White Sands Missile Range, actually right off of State Route 70 in southern New Mexico. You're just driving down 70, and then there's like this big Hellwiz complex. It even says it. It even says it on the sign. Chad, do you know about the Giant of Kandahar? Also, howdy. I don't believe so. Giant of Kandahar. Let's look. Giant of... The Giant of Kandahar is a legendary 12 to 13 foot tall, red-haired humanoid allegedly encountered by... Oh, okay. Yep. I did hear about this myth, yeah. According to the story, during OEF in 2002, Special Forces team reportedly encountered a massive humanoid in a remote area of Kandahar. Yeah, you want to talk about remote. Creature was described as 13 feet tall, fiery red hair, 6 fingers on each hand, and 2 rows of teeth. Eyewitness accounts claim the giant killed one soldier with a spear. Guy killed me with a sword, Mal. Before the rest of the unit killed it with sustained gunfire. The body was allegedly removed by the military and hidden from public view. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it at all. But I'm actually a big believer in the whole cryptozoology thing. So, Tail gained attention in 2016 when a YouTube video featured an interview with a military contractor referred to as Mr. K, who claimed to have witnessed the event. The story has since circulated on conspiracy theory and supernatural focused websites, often linking the giant to the Nephilim, biblical term for offsprings of angels and humans. Though these connections are speculative and symbolic, rather historical. I don't see why that would be a Nephilim. Why wouldn't it be like just a cryptid? You know? Yeah. Crazy shit, dude. There we go, kids. There's your cryptozoology lesson for the day, courtesy of Blake Tarpley. Yep, I've heard of it. Dan says, 2 of my friends from high school became Rangers. Yep, Rangers lead the way, right? We should talk about favorite war movies, too. Speaking of Rangers and Saving Private Ryan. Favorite war movies. It's probably put together with leftover DC parts. I would hope not. Especially at $60, right? You want to talk about getting bent over the barrel. That's crazy. Hell yeah, KB Toys. You remember? I remember. Yeah, we could do just a whole member berries. That's what we should call it. Fucking member berries. See, you guys are helping me out. I get sad whenever I hear KB Toys. Do you guys remember the smell? The smell inside KB Toys? Kmart. Yep. Remember when you could shop at Miller's Outpost? Hell yeah, dude. Hey guys, remember when you walked into KB Toys and saw the first Bryan Singer X-Men movie figures and walked right by them? Yeah, I do. I do, 100%. Most underrated U.S. Tier 1 unit was that Air Force 24th Special Tactics? Their SOAR is good, but even the Air Force, like most elite, like the most elite in the Air Force is like your basic fucking PFC that just got in the Army Rangers. I don't know. Having worked with all branches over decades, training environments, true operational environments, only us, the U.S. Army, I'm talking about combat arms. I'm not talking about support. However, there are a lot of support MOSs in the Army that do this as well. But only us and Marine Corps infantry are cross-trained, and we have like multiple like Either we have secondary MOSs, or, you know, these guys are on the EPW team. These guys are on the TSE, the tactical site exploitation team. These people, you know, yeah, they're an infantryman, but they can run all the comms. They can talk to air support. We can talk to people who have the ISR, which is the information surveillance and reconnaissance, you know, like your RPAs, remotely piloted aircraft. We're all CLS qualified. Like, we can do IVs, splints, traction, name it. And then, you know, I work with an Air Force person, and they're sitting around like bitching about how somebody tried to make them, you know, oh, you have a secondary duty, you got to do UPL, which is, you know, meet gazers. And then they fucking write a letter to somebody complaining about it. I don't know. Like I said before, only the direct action Air Force people, they're the only ones with any kind of like presence or remotely noticeable violence of action or anything like that. The rest of them are just, hey, Steve, oh, what's up, Chip? What'd you do this weekend? Oh, I went golfing. And shut up. You know, they're the fucking 9-to-5ers, man. No McFarlane figure is worth $60. I agree. I absolutely agree. What are the standard Helldivers figures at Walmart? Aren't they like 50? 40, 50, something like that? The Wokening of video games. You want to do that? You could do that. We kind of talked about it, but I mean, we could just talk about the Wokening period. Hey, did any of you see? It wasn't a topic for today, so I'm going to put it on pause. But all that shit, all those accusations about what was going on at Blizzard with like how they had a Bill Cosby room for, you know, Bill Cosby type activities, and all of just the disgusting allegations that were coming out of Blizzard. There was nothing to substantiate any of that. And it was just to, you know, change the demographic of the workforce at Blizzard. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff starting to come out about that. Even the state of California said, no, there's nothing to substantiate this. We're kicking it out. Red Rebel, what's up? The good old days. Yeah. Yeah. I think member berries and the good old days might, I don't think they would be the same thing. So the good old days. Yeah. I got to start working on next week's. Ew, pins, gross. I don't remember anything, especially if an agent of the state is asking. Yeah, especially if it's the IRS. Be like, I think you got some other people you need to go after. Like all of Congress, the entire state of Minnesota, California. Get out of my face. Yeah. Yeah, they are pricing us out. They already priced kids out. Now they're squeezing the adult collectors because they narrowed their market. I don't get it, man. It's literally Minecrafting yourself. Jay says, remember when you could walk into a store and they weren't capturing your image as you walked in? Yeah, sure do. Wolverine, what's up, man? Good to see you. Retro Roamers, good to see you as well. Happy Friday. Thank you for being here. All my Azrael Batman 667 pre-orders were canceled, and I'm not paying $60 for it. Who canceled it? Yeah, we should talk about pre-order culture too. We should. That's that bullshit, right? 100% that's that bullshit. You know, and you get all these people, like we've talked about before. Oh, well, you were too slow. You snooze, you lose. Fuck you. I got 4 of them. And then you get shit like this. Or then you get the people that, maybe they were just like legitimately busy. Not like the people from yesterday who said, oh, we were busy that weekend, that one weekend when Supergirl needed us to go see it, put it back in theaters. No, the pre-order culture is broken. Pre-order model. Yeah. No, I'll leave it as culture because you got to include the model in there as well. Toddy Mac is delusional, says Jim Largo. Diaper waist, pin joints, outdated articulation, and $60. I don't know if that's the actual waist because you do see when he's crouched, it's like a Sofuvi kind of thing going on here. See it right there? Yeah. It is soft vinyl. However, it does go all the way under where the little T-crotch part should be. Red Rebel says, I'll just watch you all spend your money. It's fine. Yeah. You're not going to watch me spend my money on this. That's not going to happen. But again, yeah. All you can get is the Mint. Mint Pro and Substandard are sold out. Whatever. Swear to me. Okay. That's why Flash and Grand Slam got them red pads so they can't see you bleed. Yep. Slade says old red hair giants. It's true. There's been a lot of talk about giants and how they built, certain ancient monolithic structures and whatnot. So he's saying that the long-range reconnaissance patrol encountered it first. Kandahar giant sounds like my aunt.
What the hell is even that?
Good God, man. Crystal Clear saw cryptid. Tears of the Sun is underrated. Why don't you $60 dues nuts? War Movies is a good one. Yeah. Your wife's a Bigfoot, isn't she, Gus? There's a guy who's an expert, in quotes, on the Bible and angels and whatnot. Went on Joe Rogan and talked at length about the giant of Kandahar. He also has access to tons of military folks. Fun stuff. Dude, that's rad. I'm a fan of all that stuff. I mean, I did hang out with Georgios Tsoukalos, right? So, yeah. Meat gazer. I forgot about those. Yeah. Slade on Slade says, I joined the army to work hard, not to be a huge... Yeah. Bear 11 Charlie, what's up, my brother? Good to see you, dude. Yeah. The Titan says, I thought I saw a whole herd of cryptid once, but it was just an Antifa rally. Did it look like this? Yeah, probably look like that, right? Let's remove this from the screen. Yeah, we'll come back to that stuff later. And we're gonna share this other thing. Do. Sorry, got to go back to the images. Cool. Yeah. So we were already talking about the Retro Toy Quest wish book for G.I. Joe, which is 2 books and all that stuff. I'm glad to see that some people got it. If you weren't able to get in and back it at 2 volumes, you can still get a standard edition. So an episode on data centers. No, dude, no. Good God. Yeah, back in the day. Remembering the good old days. Yeah, we'll do that. Jeffy says, wish me luck, gotta run ye old D&D game. Your D&D game's cutting into mandatory fun, dude. I'm going to dock your pay. Yeah. Hey! You guys want to talk about these nuts? No, I definitely don't. LOL and Supergirls have flopped. Toy hoarders. Yeah, we could talk about toy hoarders. How about I just make it toy hoarding, right? In the active sense of toy hoarding. NR and UPF. UPF is the LPZZ, right? Rip, McFarlane, and Mattel. I don't know. CC Murphy, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Oh shit, Chad. I put that's that bullshit in my latest chapter last night. Found the perfect spot for it. I'm getting credit in the book. Yes! That's what I'm talking about, kids. Justin Booth says, I kind of wish Fresh Monkey Fiction would lower the prices on their 1/18 scale figures. I like them, but I do think they're slightly overpriced. I agree. The gap between 1/18 and 1/12 it's getting smaller. And it sucks. Where the green grass grows. Jesse from JLS Comics. What is up, my friend? It's good to see you, brother. You can get 2 Valaverse or classified figures for that price. Definitely 2 Valaverse. Classified? Yeah, probably. Probably. Drew G, what's up, my dude? Chad, have you seen the guy that found the dead Bigfoot in the woods? It was a story on Newsmax recently. No, dude. I did not. Do we need to do a freaking whole mandatory fun on cryptids? Yeah. Oh, look at this. Jesse says, I like the Romeo Quebec 170. Is that what it was designated as? Is that the designation? Can we get a napalm strike on that? Look, I know it's insensitive, but that's kind of on brand for me. The more I see coming out of like Minnesota and Michigan, I'm like, man, I know we got some low yield nuclear devices sitting around somewhere. Can't we just evaporate those states and start over? Please, can't we? Maybe. I mean, look what happened to, Hiroshima and Nagasaki after World War II. I mean, they came back and flourished. Yeah, maybe we can just get rid of Minnesota. Start over. Drop it right on the governor's house. Just a thought. I mean, there are very many ways. It's very rarely the way. I never saw a giant, but some huge ass dogs at Afghan CPs around Kandahar. I never supported the way a lot of those dogs were treated in Afghan, and I know there were stories about the way some of the wild and stray dogs were treated in Iraq, but those things are hardy. They are hardy. If you know, you know. Does Tropic Thunder count as a war movie? I don't read the script. Script reads me. Would you spit that shit out? Yeah, we can put Tropic Thunder in there. I mean, it is a movie about people filming a movie about the Vietnam War. Yeah, that's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. We can do that. Pete says that clip also reminds me of when the Insane Clown Posse tour bus breaks down. Yeah, I could see that. Oh, CG7 says Kiss and Cold Slither equally suck. Remember, kids, if you're coming in for your daily dose of mandatory fun a little late, a little behind the curve, vote in the poll. Which one is worse? It's one or the other. There were no giants in Afghan. It was a big ass Russian dude that had red dyed beard. See all the Afghanis, all the red-headed Afghanis, because of all the stuff that went on in the 80s with the Russians. Yeah, it's weird to see a red-headed Afghan. Speaking of war movies, Run, Hide, Fight, Infidels looks amazing. That's another person to bring that movie up. We'll get to it. I promise we will. Yeah. In fact, I'm going to star that just so I remember. I'm not a toy hoarder. I just don't like dealing with people. That has nothing to do with hoarding. How about toy whores? Yeah, we could do that. How about toy shills? Could we do that? We could do that. Toy shills. How about an episode on video games that didn't go woke? Recommended games to replay. Yeah, we could do that. Games to revisit. I like that. See, Dan wants to do a show on cryptids. So does Robert's Infinite Realms. Oh. The RQ-170 Sentinel. Okay. I see what you're saying. Ken the Band has to catch the replay. Has a honey-do list. No, you need to put your foot down and say, but it's mandatory fun time. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Definitely do cryptids. I'm in Wisconsin. Please help. Yeah, those dogs were freakishly everything. Everything. Tough. Very tough. Definitely do a cryptids. Okay, whatever. We'll put cryptids on the list. We'll title it, Have You Seen Me? I don't know. Man of Action, I'm nibbling more at Delta 17. What the frick's going on with Grindhouse? Been going on 3 years now. Do you want my personal opinion on what's going on with Grindhouse? I mean, I'm sure one of the logical answers is that they all use the same factories, which is kind of the deal. That's why, like, Call Sign Longbow got delayed because of all the Operation Recall shit, and on and on and on and on. So, yeah. If you're getting rid of states, start with Wisconsin, Green Bay. Do we need to get rid of Wisconsin? Tropic Thunder is a movie disguised as a movie playing another movie. Exactly. That's exactly what it is, right? Even at the end, it's like, oh, we were making a movie about making this movie, but then it wound up being a documentary. Wild dogs are way different. I used to see them in the Virgin Islands. That's true. Yep. Crystal Clear says, when my dad was in Nam, he said he only saw 3 dogs the entire time he was there, not including ones with the MPs. You know why, right? You know why. Delicacy? I don't know. I'm sure you know why. All they have to do is detonate the nukes above ground, midair. It'll minimize radiation damage. That's why Japan is back up and running. Agreed. Yeah. It doesn't fully irradiate the ground. Meat gazers are also known as pecker checkers. Get your eyes off my flesh. My flesh musket. You damn trouser snake eating. Yeah. Jesse's asking, did you see the latest episode of Lioness? I haven't seen a single episode of Lioness. How about that? They were in Ukraine. Drone bombardments followed by arty warheads on foreheads, followed by dogs clearing trenches. Damn, dude. I mean, that's the way to do it, right? I said what I said. Kiss is absolutely worse because Cold Slither are cartoon characters. Kiss are all clowns. See? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Hey, kids, Iraq was a British colony until the 40s. Yep. Nico Tronus, what's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. I'm just kind of getting down through the chat. Oh, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do an episode on cryptids, and we're going to have 15 dudes on one screen. Yeah. I don't think anybody wants to come on screen with me anymore because you're just going to catch heat for it. Just my opinion. Yeah. That being said, as much as I love hanging out with people on YouTube and talking about stuff, I also really enjoy doing my own thing. And this is not to like be a spotlight ranger, but I don't need 8 other people to talk 8 other toy lines. I can fucking do it all myself. Bush Wookiees are definitely cryptids. They probably are. Yeah. Did you hear about the new free DLC Dawn of the Machines from Quake? No. The original Quake? Shit, man. Oh, that's cool, Crystal Clear. My dad was present for the filming of a couple of classics, Green Berets, Tora. Was he an advisor? Impossible Pie says, I'm done with Kickstarters. I am for the most part. Yeah, I'm very, very leery about what Kickstarters I will back. However, I mean, this one had 2 other books already before they announced the Joe one, and they did fulfill them both. Just saying. I wanted to show you guys this because I don't know how many people have seen it. So this is Ace. And so we begin the Lord scale. And I have a funny screenshot from the comments on this. Some guy said, the Lord scale, that's my saying. And I responded with, oh, that's your saying? After a hiatus from our initial announcement of the Machina 118 scale, we are carrying on and at the same time clarifying how we are working the lines. Machina Labs, which is what we have done for Red Gullwing, Great White, and Mobula, which is getting into hands now. Machina 375. 118 scale overbite with Slavi as the first release, right? Shin Machina, Kenner sized with modern engineering, right? And they're going to do a classified scale. So obviously the first release is Slyrax. But yeah, there he is. So the 118 version is going to have freaking thigh swivel, all that good stuff, ankle rockers. I can't wait for him to put this out. Overbite with Slavi. I like that name. Yeah. Michael Zimmerman says, hey, for what it's worth, radiation from nukes is optional. Is it optional? Does Rambo 3 count as a war movie? Yeah. The one that takes place in Afghanistan? Mm-hmm. I'm just... CJ says, sorry, I will come on screen and discuss cryptids. There you go. Black Spearhead's first concert was Kiss. Dude, that's cool, man. And Loverboy. All right. Alrighty. Yeah, maybe we'll do a cryptids one. So yeah, dude, these are going to be amazing. He looks so good. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see all of this happen, right? All the different versions of Machina. The Titan says, I love the Machina line from Ramen Toy. F disloyal subjects. Is Kenner size 1/25th scale? Yes. Kenner size is 1/25th scale. Yeah. Modern engineering, just like the originals. Triple D. I'll come live with you anytime. I ain't afraid to be in the kitchen. Nice, man. Oh, okay. His room overlooked Pearl Harbor. Yeah, he saw major explosions soon. Okay, gotcha. Jim Largo says, Ace has some great designs. Machina will make loyal subjects cry in their beer. Well, I'm sure a lot of people have already heard all the scuttlebutt about what went down at San Diego Comic-Con between loyal subjects and Ace. They were rather aggressive toward him. He should have got the license. I don't know whose ass at Hasbro got kissed by whom at loyal subjects, but Ace should have got the license. He had already proved that he could make this stuff. He should have got it. And he was damn close to getting it. But again, nepotism, right? We talk about nepotism all the time. In the real world, you know, in our not so serious hobbies that, you know, we're all fanatical about, so we take seriously. Nepotism is a freaking problem. CJ, I know everyone is going to jump on me saying this. 1/18 scale with ramen toy are going to be expensive too. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, look at his 1/12 scale stuff. So, yeah, I mean, you can kind of scale that accordingly. But it's boutique, right? Not only is it independent toy company, but it's boutique as well. I don't think anybody would jump on you for that. I'm sure you just say that as like a euphemism, but I don't ever see anyone around here jump on anybody for their opinions. And I would hope that they don't, because you guys know where you're at. Yeah. You know, if you want to come in here and say crazy shit like a man can be a woman, I don't think anybody would even jump on you for that, let alone toy prices. Medieval Alchemist says, dude, I'm on board for a lot of ramen stuff. Machina, Brave Star, vehicles. Give me those. Oh, Jesse's down to join for cryptids as well. All right. Okay. I didn't hear about SDCC. What happened with Ace? To not have to paraphrase it, if you go look at the Ramen Toy Facebook page, he explains the interaction. I don't want to say altercation, but he explains the interaction with them at San Diego Comic-Con. So you can read it in Ace's own words. Well, I don't want to paraphrase that and it turns into a thing. So yeah, that's the answer for you guys. Nate Wolf, what's up, dude? Good to see you as well. What are we talking about? We were talking about the Toy Collector's Wish Book for G.I. Joe, which is their third Toy Collector's Wish Book, how that's going to be coming out soon. I asked who backed it. And then we were talking about how Ramen Toy, like this is how he broke down going forward with his Machina line. So Machina Labs, Machina 375, Shin Machina, which is like the OG Kenner style, and then classified. So he is going to do a 1/12 scale Machina. Because Hasbro won't do vehicles, but he freaking will. Hey, speaking of Hasbro won't do certain vehicles, but Ramen will. Drum roll. Did you guys see this? You guys know who that is, right? The Wolverine tank. If you know who this driver is, then you know which tank the Wolverine is, right? Without me having to say it. Shit, he looks good. I mean, yeah, these are just renders with no articulation points or anything like that, but there he is. There's the man. And I bet you won't lose the microphone if you know, you know. Yeah, I'm just going to leave this up while we chit-chat and I catch up. Justin Booth says, I got a feeling Jazzwares is going to focus on more video game IPs. Now their partnership with All Elite Wrestling has officially ended. That will free up some money. Again, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Ramen should have got Mask so they could do it, 3 scales. Jazzware should have got Joe. 100%. Clint, what's up, man? I like Cold Slither. I really love their cover of Cold Slither, like those guys that Hasbro made. Yeah, that was Michael Charles Hill. I didn't listen to anything else they did. Gotcha. A Chad JLS Comics team up? Hell yeah. I've had Jesse on. Jesse and I are boys. We're boys, yo. Possible Pie. I bought the Ramen Toys Gotcha Man G1 Jet. It's 124 scale. It's amazing. Play features, amazing design, sculpt, and paint. Ace doesn't play around. He does not. He knows that word of mouth quality, playability. Like those are integral, however you want to say it. Nuclear. It's integral to his business's good name. Yep. Cold Slither is the Nickelback of animated bands. Look, last year at San Diego Comic-Con, when all the hype like just started, the booth that was selling the records, nobody. There was nobody fucking there. Oh, Titan says, I don't have any social media accounts, but I'll look it up. If we want to circle back around to it, I can always pull it in screenshots and we can talk about it another day. Loyal subjects, lol. They're cheaper, but their stuff is terrible and breaks easily. Well, that's why sometimes inexpensive and cheap go hand in hand, right? The old saying, you get what you pay for. Which can also be abused because a $60 McFarlane Helldivers figure from Big Bad Toy Store, negative. 100% negative. Oh, Pete says, I saw 2 Transformers yesterday. I needed to shave with that rack. You saw 2 Transformers that needed to shave? I don't know. Brown Coat can't wait for Ramen Toy Dukes of Hazzard figures with the General Lee. I can't wait for it too, because I can't wait to see all the, little thin-skinned, spineless, sissy baby fucking toy activists crying about the General Lee again. That shit's pathetic. If you don't like a toy, don't get it. That's all there's to it. If you don't like my channel, don't come here. If you don't like my opinions, But again, people will hate purchase it. We've talked about that. That's what we should talk about. Hate buyers, right? Hate buyers, hate watchers, right? We should do that. Impossible Pie picked up the Ramen Toy upgrade kit for the McFarlane 89 Batmobile. Yeah, 100%. It definitely churches up that vehicle. Am I reading your mind? Reading your mind? That's exactly who that is. So you know what vehicle it is, right? So is the Wolverine a tank or a tracked vehicle? Okay, now if we're talking about the original Wolverine CoverGirl's vehicle, it's not a tank, no. Because it's not a main battle tank. It doesn't have a smoothbore gun with a bore evacuator. Are you joking? I think you're joking, right? Yeah. It's a mobile surface-to-surface, surface-to-air missile launcher. That's all it is. It is a tracked vehicle. Now, what he is calling the Wolverine tank, I'm sure you guys know what tank that is, again, because I pulled up this awesome tank driver. Actually, Chad, he's the tank commander. Whatever. You guys know what I mean. He does look good, right? He looks super good. G.I. Joe 66 says there's actually 3 more Kickstarters on right now with the same guy that made Legends of the Hidden Force. Exactly. Yeah, I got a message from him on Instagram about coming on the channel to talk about stuff. Yep. Wolverine was more of a multiple launch rocket system. Exactly. Or mobile, right? Whatever. I hope they make Daisy Duke body accurate. Have you not seen his renders of Daisy Duke? If not, by all means, go to Instagram, look at Ramen Toy, and you can see his Daisy Duke sculpts. They do her justice. How much would the General Lee cost? 500? Is it 1/12 or 1/18? It's 1/12. 1/12 scale. Just like Knight Rider. But that 1/18 Ramen Airwolf, kids, that he's doing with Factory Entertainment. Yep. 100%. Yep. There you go. Yeah, the Wolverine is not a tank at all. Mm-mm. Especially when we talk about modern tanks, right? Is the Persuader a tank? We should do a whole episode. Is it a tank? What do you guys think? Is it a tank? CC Murphy says, yeah, I just finished printing 3 figures from the new Kickstarter from Legends of the Hidden Force. So another Kickstarter coming from them soon. There you go, man. The only issue with the CAG 2.0 from Ramen for the 89 Batmobile is that you can't fit a McFarlane DC Direct or Marvel Legends scale figure in the cockpit of the Batmobile. Other than that, it looks awesome. Ooh, okay. 610, what's up, dude? Trying to have fun, but work won't let me because it's the last day to get in-state reports for mental health. Have you taken your meds today? Have I? No, I take mine at night. Have you?
Just checking in. Have you drank water today? Did you eat? Did you take your meds?
Yeah, good to see you, dude. Yes, do the Is It a Tank episode. Okay, whatever. Is it a tank? If I could type, is it a tank? You guys know what's going to happen. In like 2 weeks, somebody will be, 2 weeks, someone will say, hey, where's that episode about cryptids? Where's that episode about Is It a Tank? And I'll be like, there's like 30 fucking, 30 topics here. We got to get through them. That's the whole point, right? We got to rack them up. Joy Toy Ninja Turtles are awesome. I love them. See, I love with this format, we can just be completely off topic. Are these nuts a tank? Probably. I believe Ramen said at one point the Dukes with General Lee was going to be right around 300. I don't know. Yep. Turret with a main gun, tracks, heavy armor. That's a tank. Anything missing from that makes it something else. Usually an infantry fighting vehicle. Absolutely. 100%. The Hiss is not a tank. As soon as I pointed out that obvious, because it was just, a very obvious lesson in groupthink, because General Hawk says it. Season 2, the animated series, episode 1, Arise Serpentor, Arise Part 1. Ever since then, it's a tank. It's a tank. It's a tank. It's a tank. But it's not. That's like saying, well, Snake Eyes, ninja. No, he's a commando. That's his role within G.I. Joe. He just so happens to be trained in ninjutsu and like 20 other martial arts styles. He's never referred to as ninja until Ninja Force. But what does everybody call 85 Snake Eyes version 2? Oh, that's Ninja Snake Eyes. It's not. It's groupthink. That's what it is. You hear something enough and you just accept it. That's how it is, but it's not. Yeah, Krusty Old Crow would love an Is It a Tank episode. I wrote it down. It's on the list, kids. It's not I can't. I'm not even going to try. So, Mill Connor says heavy duty, heavy metal, as you were. Heavy metal was in charge of my tank division after I lost Steeler. Did you just like lose him? 2 weeks. I was just making an example. Yep. Hiss is absolutely, yeah. It is a scout vehicle, infantry fighting vehicle, not a tank. Especially once they started putting ramps in the back of it, right? Troop compartments with the DTC, the direct-to-consumer Hiss, the mission scale Sigma 6 Hiss. Yep. It is absolutely a fighting vehicle. Yep. It has 2 fire-linked, 80 millimeter quote-unquote laser cannons. That thing's not doing shit. Not even a little. Yeah. Maybe if it had like heat sabot rounds in it, but no. The Battle of 73 Eastings, which was the very last, it was the last great tank battle ever. It was the last great tank battle of the 20th century and the last one in current history. We had Bradleys just bodying all that shitty old Russian equipment that the Iraqis had. I mean, obviously they have, they do have tow missile pods, but yeah, Bradley's just tearing them up. Yeah. David Allen, I've always wanted to join you, Chad, and I will. Cool. Yeah. Maybe, once a month for mandatory fun, we can just do like a open mic thing. That might be fun. I don't know if you guys are down with that. Could do that. Open mic. See what's up. Yeah. 2 weeks later, where's the episode about these nuts? Two trunk monkeys barely make an infantry fighting vehicle at that. Dudes hanging onto the back don't count as a squad. No, they don't. No, they count as bullet magnets. Excuse me, asked Viper Scout, is Ninja an MOS? Are there prerequisites? Here's a fun fact. There used to be an MOS for bicycle infantry. Think about that. Bicycle infantry. That used to be a thing. If the hiss was filled with water and goldfish, then it would be a tank. It would be. It'd be a fish tank. No bore evacuator either. Bingo. Yeah, the hiss is even called a high-speed sentry. Yeah. It's not high-speed sentry tank. It's just high-speed sentry. It's a sentry vehicle. It's a scout vehicle. Transporter says, growing up, I never had the Mauler. Someone, Rowdy Toys, came out with this product. I had to jump on it, detailing it and making it my own was awesome. Dude, that's rad. That's rad. I have one Mauler. One. Complete. I love it. I freaking love it. Yeah. Oh, hey, just got back. Are we talking tanks? No, I was just showing, the little tease reveal from Ace at Ramen. Color renders of the commander of the Wolverine tank. But, Joe fans hear Wolverine, they think Cover Girl, but, he has to call it something else. Could have called it the Mangler, right? I don't know. But you know what vehicle that is. Chooches, what's up, Chad? Ooh, what's up, dude? Good to see you. Weren't you making fun of the open mic thing yesterday? No, I was making fun about 10 people on screen. Yeah. I mean, I could do like 2 or 3. I think that would be fair. Oh, I don't know. Is that hypocritical of me? I mean, again, not everything is black and white. I think there's a balance. There's gray areas. But yeah, if you guys think I shouldn't do one because I make fun of the abuse of that, yeah, then I won't do one. That's fine. Open mic sounds like commie slam poetry. Yeah. Yeah, maybe we just avoid that. I assume the Warthog isn't a tank then? I mean, the ramen one is based on the Mauler. That is a tank. The actual Wolverine is not. No. Yeah, Warthog. No, Warthog is not a tank. No, it is an amphibious APC. No. It's loosely based on a Marine Corps amphibious vehicle. Yeah. The LAV 25? I think it's loosely based on the LAV 25. The A-10 is an airborne tank. You need to see yourself out. You know where the door is. Get out of here. Nukes has over 20,000. Terry's Templars has only 7,000. Should I play the music? Would it be insensitive if I played this? Uh-huh. I mean, I'm not going to rub it in, but you know, yeah, the AAV, and the LAV 25, yeah, amphibious assault vehicle. Yeah, Triple D says, actually, open mic means everyone gets a chance to speak. That is not the way it goes most times. Yeah, well, that's why you got to limit. You got to limit the amount of people. But I mean, whatever. That's something we can consider. If you guys don't want to, we don't need to. Or if that makes me a hypocrite, I definitely don't want to. So, best name for a tank is These Nuts. 610 would come on. There you go. Crusty Old Crow says, up to the late 90s in the Canadian military, we used motocross dispatch riders as a rear line asset. So many dudes with busted legs and new bikes after those courses. I mean, I could see that, right? If you talk about PACE plan, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. If emergency is always runner, I mean, if they got a motorcycle, that's even better, right? They're not doing the whole marathon thing. 2 guys on the back of a hiss are considered extra armor. Yeah. HGC says, nah, get 10 chat holes on just talking over each other, screaming goat noises, bush Wookie interludes. It'll be the best train wreck. It would be hilarious. That would be funny, especially to do it as like busting on those types of channels. That would be funny. Yeah. Yeah. Possible Pie says, if I wasn't working, I'd come on for open mic. Well, we'll see, 3 should be the standard number of people on screen. More than that should be for special occasions. Yeah. Oh, Junkian's here. What's up, dude? Been a shitty day, so hoping for more enjoyable discussion than real life bullshit. You're in the right place, my dude. I'm sorry you had a shitty day. Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's move on. We were looking at Ramen's tease of a certain driver of a certain tank in 112 scale, which is awesome. Bigum, what's up, dude? Yeah, 2 to 3 people on screen is optimal streaming. Yep, there you go. Yeah, so we're going to move on from this. I have a follow-up to a follow-up to a follow-up. And this is really one for the laughs and kind of the what the frick, right, in regard to some of these comments. 2, there's something that I want to talk about in conjunction with Danny McBride's G.I. Joe, the rebooting. And again, we build upon themes, or at least I try to. HGC, is it my comment? What comment? Medieval Alchemist got to go. Thanks, buddy. Replay is always appreciated, my friend. I love the fact that he can't call it the Mauler, but uses another G.I. Joe vehicle name. Well, right. Wolverine is an actual little animal. It's part of the Badger family, right? Hey, you guys remember this discussion and this video? Which, by the way, like, I've got hundreds of comments that I still haven't replied to. Again, I'm busy. It's a pretty good thumbnail. Somebody actually rendered this. New mission, new sound, same fight. From the world of G.I. Joe comes Jim and the holograms, ready to rock and roll into action. These highly detailed 6-inch figures bring the iconic sisters to life in the G.I. Joe Classified series. No. Medieval Alchemist says, well, I'm not leaving yet. I can't miss this. Maybe just a one-on-one Chad chat. Make up a sign-up list for special guest Chad Hole of the Week. Yeah, that might be cool. I like that. Okay, gotcha. I wrote that down. Junkian says, hey, at least with this render, they'll keep the classified engineering, which means their heads won't be able to look up or down. Jesus. Well, that's that. Let's all hold hands and sing the Gem song. What we should sing is a mashup of the Gem and the Mask theme. You know, Mask is truly outrageous. Yep. So they're adding the USO to classified. No way am I paying for the same $5 repainted with a different head. I mean, this is literally that bullshit. Yeah. But the point wasn't the render. The point was a follow-up to this, right? Tony's Toy Spot put that in Valaverse Action Force figure collector group. Yeah. Well, it got a lot of comments. I mean, we just saw 2 the other day. I wonder if the carpet matches the drapes in this line. They better have no carpet or they can hit the bricks. It's in 1982. Yeah. Some of these comments are based. Some of them are pretty simping. WTF, actually, is there like some kind of petition going, or is this just some rando fever dream what if? Ryan, I'm down. Jen is dope. Tim says, nope. Rick says, yes, and My Little Pony 2 bronies unite. I don't know if that's a joke, but it got 2 likes. I don't know if that's a joke. DK Moore, we have Cold Slither. Why not have Gem, the holograms, and the Misfits? And then so holograms and the Misfits, right? So Jose doesn't know anything about Gem and the holograms because he hears Misfits, right? And then he's like, dude, wrong Misfits. For Danzig to scale properly legally with 112, he'd have to be 118. Yeah. Cold Slither and Gem just go together. They actually fit in and belong. That got 20 likes. 20 likes. Mother! There you go. It's got to be some bullshit Emily is pushing for. Who would be shocked? Who would be shocked? Right? She can't get her fucking Trantifa Joe figure in there, you know, because she's Hasbro's self-proclaimed pride warrior, but she's no longer body positivity because medicine. Yeah, so maybe this is her way of fucking that all up. Yeah. That's 20 stupid folks right there. Well, if they do that, I want Inhumanoids crossed with Guar. That actually sounds like a better idea. I think Inhumanoids and Guar sounds way better. Anyway, some of it's funny, some of it is terrible. Yeah, Cold Slither and Gem just go together. So they can have a battle of the bands with Cold Slither. I don't mind as long as they classify them up. See? Won't be long before we get Mask introduced as well. To me, it keeps the line fresh and interesting. We don't want Joe in our Joe. Right. We want all this other crap in our Joe. Guar and Motu sounds fun. Hell yeah, dude. Why don't you classify these nuts, boy? Oh, it's like the 20 idiots watching you know who. Well, at one point it was 14, then it popped up to 20. So, I mean, good for them. That's probably a it's probably a high note for them. Man of Action says, fuck Gem. The cartoon was stupid. We get Gem before Ice Cream Soldier and Colonel Courage. And Headman and Headhunters and Headhunter Stormtroopers. Ace? You have no Ace whatsoever. Not even the best Ace. Ace version 3. You know why? Because they're pilots that came with vehicles, and that's not a vehicle-friendly scale. But again, I did say this before. A certain guy that we were just talking about. Oh, I can't say it. I can't just come out and say it. I have to say it roundabout. How would you guys feel about a 1/12 scale F-14 Tomcat? That might be cool, right? Then you might get a character that Classified hasn't done for G.I. Joe yet. Yeah. That's 20 people that need to be on the list. You're on the list. Jim's a child trafficker. Anyway, yeah, so Daniel here is all for it. Corbin says, my wife would love it if they made a G.I. Gem. Once again, we're diluting boys' toys to girls' lines. I love the female Joes, but Gem is not G.I. Joe. 49er Brian, you're saying you don't want an F-14, you want an F-22? Yeah, who'd want to have beautiful women in their collection? Total mystery. Beautiful women in Classified. Do you guys remember that first Dude Looks Like a Lady J offering? They have a problem with beautiful women faces. Not entirely, but it's very 50-50. This dude, I say make it. Better to have more options and characters, even Gem. See what they come up with. Come up with? You can always just pass and not get it. You also said you would never, ever want Crystal Ball and Classified. Now look what they did with him. Picture Gem as a group of... See, here we go. Private, covert, operative, contractors. That's a whole bunch of, like, tactical word vomit. Private, covert, ops, contractors. With access to a Cybertronian computer core capable of generating hard light holograms. He said hard. Brought in as a counter to Cobra's dire tech. The idea in the Gem in the world of G.I. Joe doesn't have to be shit. Well, I mean, that idea is shit. But again, right, individual results may vary. Okay, I do like this render, but again, right, I don't want it to be a kitchen sink line. I'd be more for guest characters like this. You got Lara Croft. But the world of Snake Plissken doesn't fit in because it's Elseworlds, right? If anybody knows, right? The whole geopolitical stuff with the Escape From series. Can Jack Burton and Snake Plissken be in the same universe? Again, it's just like we want everything else except for Joe and Joe. But this is kind of the litmus, right? When you look at what toy groups are talking about, and they're honestly like excited for. They're perfect cultural operatives for the Joe's ethical message. So I don't know if he's talking about a FET, which is a female engagement team. Those of you who are here who know. I think that's what he's trying to say in a roundabout way. They would make a good FET. And they're cool in their particularly corny way. Yep, we need more corny stuff. Of course, the Misfits would be Cobra affiliated and be funded by Destro's. Oh, my God. Give me pizzazz in Cobra. And then this guy's all butthurt. How many groups are you going to post this in? Hey, screw that. He helped my video get attention. She's been in the G.I. Joe universe for over 20 years, and most of us grew up with both. Gem was a good show with good music. The new song with her and Cold Slither is awesome. Again, using the Hector Ramirez, right? Excuse. You know you don't need to buy things y'all don't like, right? So if they make Gem, you are not required to buy it. But since they are literally on the Cold Slither box and did a concert with them, I don't see a problem. It's truly outrageous. They would want that. But Carlos here. Battle of the bands. Without instruments, they could make good groupies for Cold Slither. Oh my God. Oh my God. Gem and the Holograms and Misfits, please. And that's a Jeep, dude. I like this guy right here. Never ever as a kid did I ever want to mix my Joes with Gem, Barbie, or any other little girl themed toys. This is crazy. I like this guy. They weren't the same size to begin with. If you know anything about the Hasbro Sundown, is that supposed to be Sunbow? Yeah, Sundowner syndrome. Oh my Lord. Then you'd know Joe, Transformers, Gem, and Humanoids were all connected through certain characters like Hector Ramirez, Marissa Fairmount, October Guard. Yeah. At least he spelled Dana correctly. Make an appearance, blah, 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 blah. Okay, but that's through Sunbow. Bro, I'm almost 50. I know the history and I'm not interested. Yeah, so this dude just tried to mansplain this other guy because he didn't like his opinion. Actually, if you knew. This guy, okay. Look at his image right off the bat. Oh, shit, I went backwards. I'm sorry. Right off the bat, look at this guy's image. Sorry. See that bullshit? Yeah. Okay. Orange Man, bad, Planet of the Apes. See, here's the thing. Again, this is that rules for thee, not for me that we always talk about. They can make Melania Trump. Melania Trump. They can make her some Planet of the Apes fucking chimped out whatever. Imagine if you did that to Big Mike. Right? Again, that's that rules for thee, not for me. Can't do that to Big Mike because it's Rossicist. But, you know, do it to Melania all day. At least Melania Trump doesn't have a dick. I would love to see that happen, says Tori. Like I said in another group, how would that work? They would be better as Barbie-type dolls. I didn't grab Cold Slither. I don't want Gem. I find that Joe fandom is weird. I like this guy. You have those that only want straight military and seem to not really be fans of Joe. But it's the closest thing to Green Army Men. You have those that want every crossover incorporated into it. You have those that want the exact duplication of the figures from 40 years ago, just in 6 inches. You have those that want every obscure one-off character. Yeah. We're gonna revisit somebody from a previous episode. You have those that only want straight military and seem to not really be fans of G.I. Joe. And then you have those that don't like the military. There's a lot of Joe fans that don't like the military, which, again, right, this is just the invasion of our hobbies. If the demand is there, Hasbro should do a one-shot figure set of Gem. Yep, not affiliated with Class C. Again, there you go. That's the meat in the middle. I like this guy right here. I blame She-Ra. Where's Kenzo? He blames She-Ra. Pizzazz should be a Dreadnought. Again, right? Same freaking comment. Allie. I'm with please make them. I'm looking for them to be in a Battle of the Bands type display for my 112 scale line. I like the female figures in Joe. Always look for other figures that can fit in the factions. So I'm not against them looking a little more military. Blah, 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 blah. I also like kit bashing. Okay, so kit bash yourself some fucking Gem in the Holograms. Somebody wants their wife to buy them Joes. Yeah. Because we all watched it as a guilty pleasure. It's the same universe. Plus, what better way to get wives into collecting? Some of these sound pretty cucked, right? My wife doesn't support what I do, so I think that we should water down a 60-year-old intellectual property so my wife will approve. What better way to get more female tooling? Do you want Baroness or Lady J in things other than combat gear? But my wife, McQueen. Yeah. Shira's been through a lot. Get off her back. Sci-Fi Swapman says, on that note, seriously, I have just wanted all of my stuff in the same scale. That I can understand. You know? I totally get that. Oh, Junkian. Sounds like Travis watches another simp YouTube channel built around classified, and where's the rest of that? There's no rest of that. And then Travis, huh? Yeah, kind of sounds like Travis did. I still don't understand Cobra Law or Fatal Fluffies. It seems like everyone now likes the things that killed the line back in the day. They didn't kill the line. They did not. I understand disliking those things, and it's one thing to dislike them. We can laugh at it. We can joke about it. We cannot take everything so black and white serious. But Fatal Fluffies and Cobra Law, Sunbow did not kill a real American hero at all. The only thing that killed a real American hero was that one Black Tuesday after Ginger Kent spent 2 years plus in Alan Hassenfeld's ear, again with the nepotism, right? She wanted her people in Cincinnati, her former Kenner employees, to get Joe. She convinced Alan Hassenfeld to kill it. 1993 was the second biggest year in the entire history of the intellectual property after 1986. And 1986 was huge, partially because of Sunbow, right? The refreshes to the line, the conquest, the new characters, all that stuff. No. I get the argument, but again, that's not accurate. It's just not. As long as it keeps going until we all get the stuff we like, keep going. That's kind of the classified mantra, right? Once I get X, Y, and Z characters that I want, it seems very temporary. Brian Davis says, that's a huge stretch. The Gem fans should just petition Hasbro for products. It would be like throwing Big Jim or Matt Matson into Motu Origins. I love that comment. That is a very applicable comment. Like, who's screaming for Big Jim in Masters of the Universe? Nobody. But actually, Cringer is based on a tiger from the Big Jim line. Yes, we all know that. That's not the point. Yeah. Travis, will your wife let you have fun? I don't know. It really is a weird fandom these days, right? I don't get it. I really don't understand, like, the soft, just cocked fucking weirdos. And to see it in Joe is crazy. I mean, Marvel Legends, okay, right? Because once this whole thing sort of took hold, again, groupthink, that the X-Men was always based on civil rights movement and gays and all that stuff, which it wasn't. It really wasn't. In fact, there's writers on X-Men who have said as much. And Stan Lee was quoted as saying, well, I never saw it as that, but hey, you know, if it keeps the sales going. I like this one right here. Gooners are loud. They are, right? Because Gem is totally outrageous. Womp. I like Christopher here. Please don't. Maybe the Misfits instead, says Meg Atron. It's like you get one, you get the other. I've actually met some hardcore Gem fans that would surprise you. Well, sure, it's just like bronies. Or look at all the fucking dudes who collect Monster High. Just because you're a dude collecting Monster High doesn't make you like some weird simp. Like, I've met a few of them. Yeah, exactly. That didn't kill the line. No. Fatal Fluffies, Cobra Law didn't kill the line. Now, the 87 movie not doing well did have a lot to do with Hasbro not getting Sunbow back for season 3, and then years later going with Deke, pennies on the dollar. Remember how we talked about you get what you pay for? Mm-hmm. Crystal clear. I'm not a big fan of Cobra Law, but where's Globulus? No. See, this is the argument. You don't need Globulus. They need Gem. That's like the fucking conversation right now. Yeah. Dreadnought says, my combat veteran grandfathers instilled in me that war is not a place for ladies. See, this is kind of one of those comments, right? For those of you who know, you know, right? The ma'am is an infantry combat veteran. She was a PL on a combat deployment. She went to Ranger School. She went to Air Assault. I know a lot of people talk about, oh, well, they lowered the standards for this, that, and the other thing. Like, she busted her ass every day she was in the infantry. She worked harder than a lot of people to be a value-added, quality, confident, competent infantryman. And she calls herself an infantryman. The ma'am never once said, but I'm a woman. Never, ever. She would shit and piss in the same slit trenches as everybody else. Didn't give a fuck. So I want to say yes, but at the same time, like, I have seen her put in work. Right? I think that there is the mold and then there is outside the mold. Again, not everything is black and white. I will always talk about that. Every episode, every day. Not everything is black and white. I've seen some females who try to go infantry, especially some that were like MPs, and oh my God, I can't carry that rucksack. I'm just a girl. You're out. Beat it. Get out. Yeah. On that same note, and I'm sure several of the other combat vets around here have seen plenty of males in the infantry that do not belong in combat arms whatsoever. Go be a cook. Go be like in the S6 shop, or just fucking beat it, because you're going to get people like deleted. CJ says, I found the post you're showing. I'm blocking all these weirdos. The better I can enjoy toy discussions. Yeah, weirdos, right? Still win. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Man of Action, when you say they were on the cusp of resurgence, they were going for a hard reboot of the brand. Are you talking about G.I. Joe's 1995 Battle Corps Rangers line? I think that's what you're talking about. So yes and no. Battle Corps Rangers was kind of a return to form of the 82 to 84 stuff. However, I mean, there were Manimals and Ninja Commandos and all that stuff too. So, it was still going to truck forward. Actually, don't forget Zoar and Screech. I'll get fucked. Get the... Yeah. You know what? Let's see. Do I have it? I'm just talking to myself. I don't have it on here. Dude. My clip of Topher Grace from Predators. Instead, I'll give you this.
You need to shut the up. That's what I do if I had no army. I would up. Shut the
Thanks for the laugh, Dan.
Actually, you're correct. Thank you very much.
Jesse from JLS Comics. Half of these mofos should be buying TRT and not toys. That's what they should be spending their money on. Yeah. CC Murphy says it's all because 80s and 90s, and anything to do with it is the cool thing to be into now. That's why we need to do the member berries. Remember? Man of Action says F112th. I'm out. Selling off that stuff, calling it a day. Oh yeah. I mean, but it's the greatest.
Community.
Nope. Justin Booth. The only part of G.I. Joe the movie I like was the opening. I like the assault on the broadcast energy transmitter. Yeah. Duke just punks freaking Serpentor. Yeah. Robert's Infinite Realms. I dated a chick who looked like the green-haired chick from the Misfits in 2012. So hell no, I don't want this gem crap. I almost played the pre-roll intro again. If you know, you know. Yeah, Dreadnought says, I understand your point, but your wife is the 0.00001%. She is. She absolutely is. Yeah. Her, and I met another female infantry officer on my very last deployment to CJTF HOA, Horn of Africa. And yeah, she was just like the ma'am. Another officer, right? You know, an 11 Alpha, which is what they are. They're not 11 Bravos. They're 11 Alphas. And she was just very down to earth, right? Did her thing. Didn't wear makeup. Hair was always on point. You know, just, they didn't fuck around. Yeah, her and the ma'am had a lot in common. Well, we've seen some shit, man. The desert separates the wheat from the chaff. Yeah, you know it. Crusty Old Crow says, I know a bunch of combat arms chicks that can shame their male peers. And those men weren't slack. I'm just saying, right? Yeah. You know what happens when you get dropped from infantry? You stand gate guard. With the MPs? Oh, I never once, 22 and a half years, never once worked ECP, entry control point. Never once worked a tower. Never. I was always in it, earning that freaking retirement point, boy. Yeah, 95 Battle Corps Rangers. That's what Man of Action is talking about. Yeah, 100%. This has nothing to do with this stream of Chad's consciousness, but I took a Tom Hanks in League of Their Own level piss. I'm sharing. You're all stuck reading this. Wow, thanks. I appreciate that. Brown coat. Chad, I know this is slightly off topic, but I remember you mentioning the Transformers crossover Triple T Cup. Didn't you say that was canceled? No, not Cup Triple T, the Mobat Prime and Hound Vamp. Yeah, right after they got product numbers and all this move to Boston stuff started, yeah, they quietly just kind of ended that Joe Transformer collab line. No, the Cup Triple T was the last one to come out. They only did 4, right? 2 Decepticons, 2 Autobots. They were supposed to do more. They even had on the table to do a Titan size, not class, Titan sized collab, which was heavily rumored to be Jetfire, the Jetfire Sky Striker. But didn't happen, so whatever. Yeah. Just the Homeowners Association. Oh, shut up. Other than the opening, I like the assault on the Terrordrome. We all go home or no one goes home. Exactly. And Vargo, what's up, dude? Why are we hating on Kiss? We're not hating on Kiss. It's a question. It's one or the other. Which one's worse, Kiss or Cold Slither? So, yep. Dreadnought's just talking random shit. Yeah, don't worry about it, man. That's why we all talk. Yeah, the Joe Transformer collabs are, I liked them. The first 2 weren't that great because you had the Bumble Striker and he had like the fucking Forrest Gump braces on his legs with the roll cage. The Mega Hiss, you know, he's wearing the turret on his back like a shopping cart. Yeah, I don't know. Those 2 weren't great. But the Thunderwave, the Soundwave Thunder Machine, that thing is money. It's bulletproof. So is the Cup Triple T. Just the fact that his forearms are the shocks It's awesome. And it's way better than the original Triple T because we got to call balls and strikes, right? We got to be realistic around here. That thing was hollow with barbell rollers. I like the vehicle, but it's, it's just old school, hollow fucking, formed plastic. Michael Zimmerman, I don't want everything added to classified. Just gem, mask, cops, mash, and golden girls. Oh, man. Yep.
I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Gone.
Man. War Chest is here, ladies and gentlemen. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Yeah, the Thunder Machine and Triple T were great. I would have loved to have seen that Jetfire. Yeah, me too. Now, I have the San Diego Comic-Con Jetfire Sky Striker, but it's just a Sky Striker. Shit ass. It's just a Sky Striker painted up to look like Jetfire. So it is what it is. I don't get triggered. I trigger. Yeah, that should be on your business card, man. That is true. Cold Slither never wrote the hit song Torpedo Girl or Strutter or Detroit Rock City. I have the Megatron Hiss and the Cup Triple T. Cup is infinitely superior. Agreed. 100% agreed. Did I check out my Wildlands update yet? No, I did not. I'm sorry. I had my stream. I had to go all the way across the metro area. I had stuff to do last night. And then I came home and I worked on assets for today. I've been busy. Yeah. I'm trying to fine-tune the old work-life balance with doing a mandatory daily show. Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. I still have to remodel the Mam's Closet. Yeah. Just want to throw this out there, but wouldn't incorporating Chuck Norris's character, Colonel James Braddock, into Classified make more sense than Gem? Well, you would have to get the likeness rights from Chuck Norris's estate. Look, if you want a Colonel Braddock figure or a Lone Wolf McQuaid or any of Chuck Norris's, awesome based badass fucking characters, just go to LaCroix's Toys. Just get them from Matt LaCroix in the Lord scale. Yeah. Browncoat says, I wanted the Classified Triple T to be good, but I probably will skip it because I don't need another Sarge. So they're doing the Thunder Machine with no Thrasher. Thrasher has never been made. Even though they tooled Thrasher, they're just going to slap him on a card. We all know that, right? I think a lot of people around here aren't stupid or they're not lying to themselves. Why didn't they do that with the Triple T? Not put another Sarge in there and charge less. How many Sarges do they already have? 3, 4? Didn't need another Sarge. But this is that weird thing where whenever Hasbro is faced with a go left or go right decision, it feels like they either look at it from the standpoint of, which is the dumber decision, which is going to fuck the customer over decision, how can we make more money decision versus a smart decision, or erring on the side of the customer. If they would have made the Triple T with no Sarge and said, we deliberately didn't put a figure with this so we could charge less, right? That's how you get your customers to go, oh, okay, cool. But then you get the Thunder Machine with no Thrasher. You guys know what that is. You know what that is, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Dreadnought says, I got to get one of those Sky Strikers for the Cobra Commander pilot. That's a good figure, yeah. That's a good figure. Plus, it came with the Hound Vamp, and it came with Baroness with that fucking awesome Ravage. That Ravage is sick. Not to mention, you get a blaster boombox. Yeah, Cold Slither also never breathed fire. Come on, man. Chad is a Cup fan. He's old and likes to tell stories. He's also a grizzled old sergeant. Yeah, I'd probably be Cup. I'd probably be Sergeant Cup in the Transformers universe. I would have loved to have gotten that Cobra Commander pilot. He came with a Megatron P-38 alt mode as his accessory. Yep, with the butt stock. Sure does. Robert Diaz. All hail G.I. Joe septic tank is the greatest vehicle of all time. Actually, the Cobra Earthquake is the best Cobra vehicle. I like the septic tank. I have 2 of them, if I remember correctly, which usually I don't. I believe M. Vargo sent me one of mine. I believe that's how I got one of them, from M. Vargo. We're going to do a greatest, favorite vehicle, favorite playset, blah, blah, blah. We're going to do that. My argument, maybe it's a hipster argument, the Cobra ring neck is the best Cobra vehicle ever. Has play features, has sounds, right? Yeah. I like the Cobra ring neck. Holds a lot of figures. Hasbro should just start a new line called Action Heroes or something generic like that. A dump all. Yeah, fucking catch all. I could see that. Yeah. War Chest. I was curious to see how people would react to the new Thunder Machine. To be honest, I didn't care for it at all. The general consensus is that it's on the Awestriker frame, which is why it looks weird. I don't know, right? I'm not a designer. I didn't design it. At the end of the day, we all know they wouldn't tell you if that was true or not, because they tried to pull the wool over people's eyes with that Televiper that came with the Cobra flight pod. No. His arms were always supposed to be painted black. No, it wasn't. You changed the skin tone. Come on. So people would army build it, which is fine. HoloNet says their plan is for you to army build the Thunder Machine. No, I don't. Yeah. Whenever Hasbro has a go left or go right decision, they always choose faceplant. Yeah. I'm just trying to catch up on the chat here. Yes, Cobra Commander pilot does come with Megatron. Man of Action, the figures are ass. Those new figures, plastic is on par with that stuff they made those newer figures in the 90s with. Is the septic tank a tank? I'm sure you watched my video where I mentioned the septic tank, but no, it is not. It is not a tank. You have to call it a septic tank. You have to. You can't call it a septic hiss. Everybody knows what a septic tank is. Cobra Hurricane, greatest Cobra jet. I do like the Hurricane. Yeah. War Chest says not having the Trans Am front end just kind of killed it for me. Justin Booth gifted a channel membership. What's up, dude? Thank you, my dude. This is for you.
Wolverines! Wolverines! Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. HoloNet says the Cobra ring neck is pretty interesting. I've got 2 or 3 for my Cobra Urban Forces along with the Fury. I love the ring neck. It all just depends, right? Crystal Clear's a sucker for the Rattler. Me too. I like the Liquidator, though, because it's based on that Saab fighter. And if you go back and watch the Mass Device, when Joe first receives these new Sky Strikers, that was my attempt at Stalker. And Major Blood and some, just generic Cobra troops flying $35 million planes, because why not? When they attack the Sky Strikers on the tarmac, right, that's kind of based on that Saab fighter as well. So I like the way that they did that aircraft. I mean, yeah, it has a water shooting gimmick, but it does definitely tie back to the Mass Device. I like that. 610 says they included the Sarge because no one would buy it separately except for us completionists, and they have to pay him that they re-up on his license agreement. Okay, I can get down with that. I could get down with that. HGC, my hipster pick, Cobra Ice Saber, all paint schemes over the Snowcat. Dude, the Ice Saber's awesome. Oh, wait, no, that's the Joe Ice Saber, as you were. Yeah. In fact, one of the proposed HasLab versions of the Snowcat had a lot of Ice Saber elements to it, where the back popped open and the turret raised up. Mm-hmm. Sure did. Anyway, let's keep driving on with this. I want the main rosters of Joes first before the dumb stuff. So many good ones left. I agree with that. Oh, here we go. Right. Just like that one guy said that the gooners are loud. The cope is real. I never saw that coming. I don't personally have an interest, but if you people want it, hell yeah. Okay. Now, if they could make her car either in normal colors or just so I could repaint it for 6-inch figures, I'd be interested in that. Do you guys remember the whole Bratz car thing that Ryan started? Oh, get a Bratz car. This kind of feels like that same energy. That's giving me total Cruella DeVille vibes. Destro's Pimp Mobile. Fuck. Yeah, and then this guy points out, oh, it's because of Hector Ramirez. Yeah. Added Big Bad Workshop, da-da-da-da-da. But then this guy flexes and says, Big Bad Workshop showed off they're not Hector Ramirez, so we should be getting him sometime around November 2034. Yeah. Yeah, it kind of feels right. I mean, I waited 3.5 years for those not Red Shadows 4-inch figures. Because they're glam and colorful, and the mental image of Gem dual wielding an AK and a Tommy gun is giving me life. Pay attention to the screen, kids. Because they're glam and colorful. Anybody? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? This is the shit. It's the shit right here. Is that Sebastian Bach? No, it's not Sebastian Bach. It's it's one of these.
Can you quit saying that I look like Buffalo Bill? Because it's not funny. You're not funny at all. And you're not original.
But that's the stuff, right? That's what's getting into every hobby. And I don't have a problem with the people as much as they, like to frame me as that's my problem. What I have a problem with is you want to come into existing fandoms, of many decades, right? 6 decades and counting. It's actually 62 years. Thank you. And this is what you want to do. It's no different than, oh, well, we need Iceman to be gay and we need Robin to be gay and bisexual and whatever every other week because, oh, it has to fit our message. We need that representation. Well, make a new character. But glam and colorful. Gem dual wielding an AK and a Tommy gun is giving me life. And then this guy, right? The fucking what are they called? Not supporters, but alibis or whatever the fuck they call themselves. Yeah, that's a bullshit. They're part of the same universe. They were on the package of Cold Slither. It would be cool to have more female characters. Right? It's all the same shit. Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna move on from the GI Gem follow up. Yeah. Well. Jake from State Farm. Well, he's a guy, so. Talker, what's up, bro? I think that's the dude from Goonies. The one in the clip or the one that wants Gem and G.I. Joe because, we need more representation. I'm just saying. You let them in. They just Star Wars is too problematic as a boys' IP. We got to make it a girls' brand. All these Marvel and DC Comics characters that have been around for decades, they're too problematic. They can't be straight, people. We gotta fucking church them up. Anyway, Yeah, so we're going to move on from that. Yeah, if you want female figures, buy Barbies. There's enough females in Joe. Joe has always been organically diverse because it's supposed to be like a snapshot of the military, which is a 1% microcosm of the greater American culture. Right? Is just a small representation of our cultural landscape. But you don't. No, you don't need to do that. There's more than enough female characters in Joe. If they put in Gem, My Little Pony is next. Who freaking knows, man? The Titan says making a new character takes work and writing skills, and that eliminates the DEI hires. Exactly. That's why they got to, like, name it. They fucked it up. Halo, Call of Duty, Marvel characters, DC characters, comics, gaming, toys. Yep. They just get in everywhere. CC Murphy says, I blame the lack of soap operas. Those types of people used to have those for their fantasy mental illnesses. Are there no more soap operas? I wouldn't know that. Yeah. Embargo says, need more female characters. There's still actual female characters they haven't made yet. Like Bomb Strike. Bomb Strike's fucking awesome. Yep. I'd really like Elmer Fudd in Classified. Yeah. Jesus, man. Man of Action says, better yet, they can get lost and go back to their book burnings and autonomous zones. Yeah, it's funny that they don't want borders, right? They don't want borders, but they create autonomous zones. Again, like we talk about it all the time around here, right? Anytime they come up with some bullshit, you can see right through it. Yeah. No one's illegal on stolen land, but this person that just showed up in a shipping container from the Far East and drops a kid on American soil. Oh, that one's a citizen. That one's a citizen for sure. Oh, they're an American. They're an American. But you're a mayonnaise colonizer and you're on stolen land. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Dreadnought says they make female action figures ugly so trannies think they're closer to passing. Well, it's the same thing with, uglifying female video game characters. That's intentional. They intentionally make them ugly. Viper Scout, off topic. I found a Hot Wheels Sky Striker at Dollar Tree for $7. Dude, shit, yeah, man. Awesome. Exactly, Crow. I also don't need extra sports gear in my Classified. Just make plastic weight. When they came out with their not Steel Brigade because they don't own Steel Brigade, Steel Core figures, why do they all look like linebackers? Ain't nobody got time for that shit. Any of us who have been there, done that, and worn body armor, the first thing you do is you take all the DAPs, the groin protector, the butt flap, all that shoulder shit, you chuck it in a sea bag, it goes back in a Conex, and you never see it again. Ounces equal pounds, pounds equals pain. Nobody has time for that bullshit. Just get out of here. Half of us were running our own body armor anyway. As long as we put the plates in and it had the 9mm padding, fuck it. Run your own plate carrier. Yeah. Military grade does not mean better. Yeah. The Titan. Actually, I blame the Large Hadron Collider. It flipped all reality to a soap opera. Yeah. If you really want to piss off the toy activists, Chad, have Talker Art on as a guest. I've had Talker Art on. Anybody remember that live stream I did from Toy Tubers podcast? Talker was like the fucking shark from Jaws. He was on for a couple of minutes. He was gone. He would come back for a couple of minutes. It was awesome. Yeah. 100%. Everybody's talking about CIA stuff. That military grade is a warning. Yeah, it absolutely is. Okay, caught up on the chat. As a former linebacker, I take offense to. I'm just saying, look at the Steel Core figure. You are not going to effectively shoot, move, communicate, close with, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America under the crucible of close quarters combat wearing all that dumb shit. You don't do it. Nobody goes into a firefight wearing a fucking ruck or an assault pack or any of that stuff. You're not going to wear all that crap at all. But again, you got people working on this. I understand it's a fantasy military line, but they don't know shit about the military. Nothing. Military or infantry fact, extra bullshit takes up space for ammo and water. Yep. And your licky chewies, right? You got to have your fucking hua bars and all that stuff. Oh, the figure can't even stand with all. They don't care if it stands. It's your problem. You work it out. Dreadnought says, yeah, right. I saw Black Hawk Down where they take out their back plates. Yeah. Well, they expected that mission to be short. Hey, I've been there too. I've been there too. Shit happens. Right. Hey, let's laugh a little more at Supergirl. So the Hollywood Handle, Supergirl is expected to end its theatrical run by earning less than $200 million globally, one of DC's biggest flops ever. Not just DC, comic book movies in general, right? We talked about this yesterday about the Cope and, the Access Media. And then this freaking Bria, Men Ruin Everything. This movie was top 15 this year. Okay, we got to zoom in, right? See how that rainbow bullshit? Men ruin everything. Men. It's our fault. Men who built the entire Western world, that gave everybody the freedoms that they have to cry about a movie because they have it so good. Men ruin everything, kids. The cope with people is ridiculous. Yep. So, yeah. Men ruin everything. It's men's fault, even though it was mostly men that went and saw this. Same with the Marvels. Yeah. The Marvels audience split was like 65, 70% male. Yeah. Brea, like tar pit. Yeah. If it's a rainbow glitter vomit toy pit. Keyword this year, movies suck in general now. Anyway, hey, I like Masters of the Universe, but yeah, this Rainbow Warrior says it's men's fault. No, it was lame. I wiped that crap off the mat. You can thank me later. Thank you, Man of Action. I appreciate that. Yeah. See, this is the argument right here. So then why didn't every woman rush out to see it? Whatever happened to the whole sisters before Misters girl power shit? Women want to blame men, but they don't go out in droves to see this stuff. They didn't do it for the Marvels. They didn't do it for this. Saying Supergirl finished in the top 15 movies this year is like saying Chad finished in the top 15 of a race against a bunch of paraplegics. Their husbands didn't let them go see it. Oh, no, that's terrible. Got to fight the patriarchy, kids. And I just got to follow up with this, right? So this dude, Portuguese, James Gunn is Marvel's Trojan horse, right? I don't know if that means he's intentionally swamping the DCU. I will say this, look, I don't like the choice for Lex Luthor. The armor looks good, but that doesn't mean shit. Just my opinion. But yeah, this guy is saying that James Gunn is a Trojan horse. Like he's like a plant. Anywho, we're going to move on from that. That's all I got. Hey, it's time for comment of the day. I think I actually have 3. It's Friday, and I'm feeling generous. One of them is laughable. One of them is pretty freaking nice. And then one of them, from a regular around these parts, and it's just funny as shit. So, boop. This was a comment on one of my videos from IMJ3688. I think it's very simple. People who are toxically positive are some of the worst and neediest people around. We talk about the whole toxic positivity, right? They don't know how to be part of something. And so immediate and exaggerated positivity is what they believe ensures their inclusion and sense of personal relief from negativity. And you see this reflected when they drop like a stone in water with the cope when someone takes the wind out of their sails. The state of psychological need, which is replete across the hobby, was also a key enabler of some years of woke nonsense and is currently enabling the death of the hobby by cheerleading the boutique toy market of new mass-produced toys at $50 or more. This guy's just killing it with this comment. The key tenets of the toxically positive are immediate and commonly irrational cheerleading, Jim, typically related to ideology and combined with an absolute fight or flight when met with opposition. Just this last freaking statement. Key tenets of toxically positive are immediate and commonly irrational cheerleading. We see it all the time. All the time. Typically related to ideology. Again, ideology. I just showed numerous examples, right? They're ideologically driven. You see the rainbow vomit, all this, you know, girl power. Let's fuck up this problematic war brand. Blah, 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 blah. It's men's fault that Supergirl failed. Again, I try to build on themes around here for everybody. And combined with absolute fight or flight. Well, we saw a couple people, right, when I wasn't going to take their shit, like they hit fight or flight mode immediately with their opposition. I mean, one of them, and we just straight up showed how he was fucking utterly lying about, oh, I was in the chat and he didn't say fuck all until I left. Yeah. And then messaged me and said, oh, I wasn't in your chat. Crystal Clear says, get that man a medal. That's what I'm saying. Dead on. Yep. I tried to infinity and beyond about the power armor. Look, I like Lex Luthor in that armor. It goes way back to superpowers. I'm a fan. Fight or flight, more like kicking and screaming and lots of crying. Agreed. Yeah, it is a great post, and that's why I wanted to share it. But this is a great comment on one of my videos. I don't only get hate comments, kids. I really don't. That's actually the 1% of what I get. Now, this one, this was a comment on Facebook about one of my videos. I got a lot of followers. I'm very choosy with friends, but you know, followers is a different story. That was one of the most insufferable ADHD riddled trash videos I've seen in a while. This idiot can't even fill a few minutes of content without shoving in his stupid clips. I'll wait for someone normal. I'll wait for someone normal to cover this. And it looked like I'm not they, I'm he. Thank you. I'm not a they, them. Only had one picture anyway. Good Lord, this dude is obnoxious. I'd rather watch the Junk Man 10 times over. Yeah. That shit's funny. I had to share that, but it's just... It's so much fun. It's literally like, cool, all you're doing is giving engagement, but... He thinks Junkman is normal? Yeah, he's brain dead. Yeah. Fucking Darren. I've never watched anything from that dude ever. I mean, well, I can't say that. Like when he was going after Analog Toys and a couple other people, sure. But who regularly watches that fucking inbred hillbilly PDF file? And then this one. Hey, I know you're in the chat. If you want to sound off that this was you, by all means, since your screen names are different. This is freaking, this is so awesome. I've been holding on to this for a while. I bought 2 G.I. Joe cops today, not even out of their packaging for 5 minutes, and they're already racially profiling and assaulting my other Joes. Yeah, I just had to. It's funny. Yeah, I don't know if you want to chime in that was you, but yep. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. Got to have fun with it, right? Yep. As long as it doesn't touch my junk. Yeah, that was you, boy. That was you. Yeah, this was Dreadnought, kids. Swi-Fi Swamp Man, I wish someone would cover the unproduced stuff besides that he does so I don't have to watch it. What unproduced stuff? I did plenty on the unproduced Real American Hero stuff. Like, a lot. I did a lot of stuff on that. I will take my bow, as well you should, sir. Yeah, again, like I said, Swamp Man, we don't need to turn this into a fucking, Darren discussion, but somebody just mentioned how they'd rather watch him 100 times over than me once, which I thought was funny. So I don't know what he does about unproduced stuff. But as far as unproduced Joe, I've done a ton on that. Yeah, right. That shit's fucking hilarious. What's up, Brandon? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for being here. Dreadnought says, I'm going to have to go back on Instagram to up the trolling. You should. You should. Got to push back on that shit, right? And, when people say, oh, but if I say so, I'm going to take the high road. And if I say something, they'll just blah, blah, blah. It's like, isn't it their whole like mantra, like silence is acceptance? Mm-hmm. Oh, you did Joe stuff, but Star Wars and others. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. I just wanted to share this because it was funny. Yeah. So apparently, if you bought G.I. Joe police officers, keep an eye on them. I guess they just immediately just start attacking people. They start profiling your other figures. Isn't profiling just called pattern recognition? That's what I thought it was. Okay, now we're going to move on. Hey, this is the main topic. 2 hours and 40 minutes in. Freaking why not, right? So Danny McBride, right? So he wrote it. He pitched a Dreadnought movie to Skydance Paramount, and they said, yeah, that's all well and good. Let's put that on the back burner because we need an actual, like, no shit Joe. Right. They need to fix Joe because Lorenzo Di Bonaventura and all of his stupid ideas, with the help of Larry Hama, damaged Joe beyond repair. So Danny McBride wrote a reboot of G.I. Joe surrounding, espionage, thriller, action, and some Joes stumble upon Springfield and what it really is, which is cool. And then it came out later that he's actually directing it as well. I've argued, I think he should be Clutch in his own movie. Give him a toothpick, whatever. That'd be fine. So Bradley Cooper is supposedly in talks for a lead role. I know some people are saying Duke because Chris Hemsworth is no longer attached to the project because of how long it took. I don't know if I see him as Duke or Hawk, but yeah, Bradley Cooper's, he's reportedly in talks for the movie. I liked him in American Sniper a lot. So he could do it. Just a thought. I'm just running through a couple of things, but I'm going somewhere with this. CeCe Murphy thinks that Danny McBride would be perfect for Clutch. I agree. I think he'd be great for Clutch. Dreadnought K6. I prefer younger, cheaper actors, more fighting age. Just my opinion. But he's a raccoon. No, look, we're not talking about shipwreck. We're not even going there. Yeah. Live action Joe movie is already out on YouTube. Which one? Rise of Cobra? Retaliation? Snake Eyes? What are you talking about? No. Well, anyway, so that being said, I'm not really getting into like casting speculation. A million other people who have nothing to do but wait around for the next classified fucking drop have done all this. However, it was in the news, so I put it in here. And then these guys, right? The big rumors that Walton Goggins is Zartan. Chris Pratt, I don't know, whatever. I like Chris Pratt because he's fucking based, right? He believes in the nuclear family. He is unapologetically a Christian. So I think more people like that in Hollywood need work. And Chris Pratt's a good actor. I don't care who the fuck he plays. But if they don't get Gerard Butler for Destro, I'm punching somebody in the mouth. The big thing really comes down to, aside from actors, right? Because it's the script, right? It's the writing, it's the director, it's the vision. It's not allowing Lorenzo Di Bonaventura anywhere near this movie, right? Learn your lesson. Get rid of that guy. Actors come and go. Like, good actors are a dime a dozen, honestly. But, named high profile, hot topic actors is a different thing. Goggins is Copperhead. Get out of here. You guys are dumb, man. Chris Pratt for chuckles. I'm not putting half this shit on the screen. You're wasting my time. The Titan says, I hate to black pill it, but this is Hollywood. They'll screw it up. Yeah, it's no wonder he wrote a Dreadnought movie. They identify more with the villains. I mean, I'm not against that statement. The only thing I will say, though, is that at least Danny McBride still has his childhood Joes. You think Lorenzo Di Bonaventura played with Joes when he was young? Probably not. He definitely didn't grow up, in that sweet spot 82 to 88. So I don't know. Bill Hader for Crystal Ball. You guys are fucked. Alan Richardson. This one. Alan Richardson as Roadblock. And watch the pro race swappers' heads explode. I'm down with that. I'm down with that 100%. Fuck it. Lorenzo didn't even play with himself. But that's kind of like my only bottom line up front. Yeah, this actor's rumored for this actor's rumored for that. Now Danny McBride's directing it too. I really enjoy Danny McBride. I thought in The Righteous Gemstones, like, he has his ridiculous, satirical, over the top, but there are moments in that show where he gets like real serious. I liked him in Tropic Thunder, of course. He's done other work that's not just like goofy and dumb. Again, people bring up Alien Covenant. Right? He was the only decent character in that whole fucking movie. It's a matter of opinion, but right, he was not fucking around in that movie. It's going to come down to the writing, the vision, the direction. No Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. And the thing is, we just went through numerous slides, right? The rainbow vomit people, the identity politics people, the we need to change the problematic war brand people, or all these freaking tourists that don't know shit. They don't know anything about G.I. Joe, but they want to, have some kind of say on things. Remember how we talked about how people have a problem with G.I. Joe being military? I'm pretty sure I've shown this before on other streams, but this freaking guy who holds his wife's purse, if he has a wife, Honestly, the thing killing most of my enjoyment for G.I. Joe is just the rampant military propaganda it encourages. So someone like me, plenty of others. I mean, there's plenty of others out there in the world where G.I. Joe shaped our lives, made us want to join the military. But this guy, right? Again, another bald motherfucker with a beard. That's why I grew my hair out. I can't fucking do it. I don't know what it is about toy collectors. Sorry, I have an alarm. I don't know what it is about toy collectors and bald head and beards, but it's fucking weird. So, yeah, he has a problem with the quote unquote rampant military propaganda that G.I. Joe encourages. Things that didn't bother me as a kid, but, you know, now I'm a simp. I can't help but think of differently now. How do you think this guy voted? Anybody? Who do you think he voted for? I don't even want to own these toys anymore. There's a quick fix for that. Right? Blue Sky Social. Blue Sky. And then Battle Armor Dad. I personally struggle with this a lot. It helps that I lean more towards the bright neon and cartoony sci-fi elements of the franchise. You know, that guy wants fucking Gem and G.I. Joe. I bet you both of these dudes want Gem and G.I. Joe. I don't have fucking Blue Sky, right? Because like I'm an irrational American, but if I did, I would ask him. So, yeah. Dr. Fauci has Lifeline. The Blue Oyster theme is your alarm ringtone. Dude, that was Helldivers. Get out of here with that bullshit. No, that's the Helldivers theme. Yeah. Ellen Page's Snake Eyes. Jesus, man. Tucker Carlson. As Hector Ramirez. I'm just saying, get Geraldo Rivera. I mean, he's based on Geraldo Rivera. Just get Geraldo to do like a real quick, like, blink and you miss it. Like, I'm Hector Ramirez here in Springfield. Why not? You could do that. 100%. See, this is what I'm talking about, man. What the frick happened to men of the world? Too many men. I don't know if they were ever truly men, but too many males, you know, too many XY chromosomes just got brainwashed or conditioned that masculinity is toxic and, you know, you have to do what women tell you to do and protecting is bad, you know, strength through peace is wrong, things like that. I don't fucking get it. But this, along with numerous other comments, posts, examples, they're everywhere. They're everywhere. These are the people. These are the kind of people that tell you like you're wrong for your opinions, right? And then they'll fall back on that. Well, there's a difference between subjective and objective. It's like, motherfucker, an opinion is an opinion. A fact is a fact. Or this dude, I know I've shown this before. This guy, and again, right, a classified Facebook group full of like the lowest common denominator tourist collectors. They just want stuff. They don't know what the fuck it is. But they're the ones that are going to tell you, no, Snake Eyes he's blind. He's not mute. You're stupid. Nobody wants Hooded Cobra Commander, right? I recently just got Hawk in the MMS. That was the day I realized he and General Hawk were the same character. Huh? What? That's the day he realized. 40-something years later. Yep. Imagine my surprise when I read Hawk's name tape on his body armor and it read Clayton Abernathy. This is the stuff. This is what it is. Yeah. But one of them is blonde. How can he be the same guy? You need to see yourself out of here. Yeah. So you're saying that that this guy is an example of a hate buyer? Remember this though. Sorry, I got to back up a little bit just to kind of run this point home. Key tenets of toxically positive are immediate, commonly irrational cheerleading, right? Typically related to ideology, right? So we have the ideology, right? All of this stuff right here. It's a state of psychological needs replete across the hobby. Key enabler of some years of woke nonsense. They don't know how to be a part of something, and so immediate and exaggerated is what they believe. Right. So this guy, he has a problem with G.I. Joe being quote unquote rampant military propaganda, daring highly trained special mission force, the tip of the spear. Right. All their future forward technology, they get everything from the DoD. I mean, of course, that's what it's going to be. But he doesn't like it. But he's still into it. This is the thing, right? Yeah, and then that guy, and then that was the last thing I wanted to show. But I'm all for Danny McBride's G.I. Joe. I think that right now I'm being cautiously optimistic, but I understand that he is a lifelong Joe fan. You know. He even said in interviews when he was talking about how he wrote a G.I. Joe script before it came out that he was directing it, that he tried to, pass his Joe toys on to his kids. I would rather have somebody like that have some manner of ability to steer a ship than whoever the fuck directed that Snake Eyes movie and Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. But I think Di Bonaventura is going to be the wild card. How much say does he have? So RDJ eye roll. Yeah, I wish I had that clip, but I don't. Man of Action says, reading that, I just want my IQ points back. Yeah. Viper Scout says, American Indian Airborne isn't Sky Patrol Airborne. He's not. No, they're not the same guy. They're not Talltree. Yeah, that's probably a hate buyer. I don't know if that's on the level of fucking Pogue's Playgrounds. That's what I call Beast Battlegrounds. I don't know if it's on the level of that dude and Valaverse, because G.I. Joe's been around. I think that's apples and oranges. But yeah, he has a problem with it. That's why you got Marvel Legends or other stupid stuff. And you can go celebrate Iceman being stunning and brave now, while you show your gay Iceman figure to your wife and you hold her purse. Triple D, headed out, boss. Taking my kids to go see Spider-Man and eat some overpriced food. Shit, yeah, dude. Have a great time. I hope you enjoy it. I hear nothing but good things, but I like to think if I'm anything, I'm at least consistent that I don't ever get affected by hype. So Man of Action says, I'll give Danny McBride a chance. At least he knows the material. He does. The fact alone that he said Springfield, that he wanted to do a story centered around Springfield, is kind of going to be like a Mission Impossible sort of story. I was like, okay, all right, I'm down with that. The problem with Joe is they don't start off smaller, more intimate, a very straightforward, stripped down story. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You can make it real fucking basic. Okay. Let's see. That is Helldivers, Brandon. Yeah. You can make it real simple. Couple Joes in a freaking tomahawk randomly gets shot down over Springfield. That's it. There you go. Fight your way out. And then I said I was going to share it, and we're gonna talk through. He says, "Okay, my bad." No, dude, I figured you were just kidding. Yeah, that's Helldivers. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, Viper Scout said Danny McBride liked G.I. Joe more than Star Wars. He's good in my book. He did say a lot of stuff, you know. Oh, and M. Vargo's chiming in. I quite enjoyed the Spooder Mang. I'm glad you did. I have to admit, Paramount is probably the least woke out of the major production companies being owned by Ellison. I agree. I think that's another thing that gives me that, you know, cautiously optimistic. Like, Paramount knows, they know. Skydance doesn't like to throw money away. Paramount understands that their Mission Impossible franchise was wildly successful. There's no reason that Joe can't be as successful. The thing is, it's the right people in the right positions, the right vision, the right direction. No Lorenzo Di Bonaventura. Granted, they don't have Tom Cruise doing all his crazy Tom Cruise shit. But the point is, yeah, Paramount did Yellowstone. Yeah, they did all that stuff. Paramount Plus, Paramount TV. Yeah, let's fire this up with no audio. And this is just kind of like imagine the third act of a Danny McBride movie with this, right, as like your fucking pump people up third act. Again, there's going to be no audio, right? Now, you could keep it super freaking quiet or super like low key, very stripped down, just a couple of Joes. Again, maybe 4 or 5 of them get shot down. You don't even have to have the pilot as lift ticket. Maybe the pilot just, you know, his subscription gets canceled in the crash. Okay, whatever. Act 2, all that blah, 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 blah. Freaking Act 3 could be kind of something like this, right? Those of you who have seen this movie know what I'm talking about. Yeah. See, I agree. We're too old to cast this properly. I do agree with that. But if you have a good setup, right, you can have a really good third act that pays off. And then that's when you could bring in, you know, just quick cuts. Oh, look, there's Ace. There's fucking Slipstream. There's Lift Ticket. There's Yeehaw, Wild Bill. Any of that stuff, especially if you do some kind of a land, sea, air assault on Springfield. You could really kind of punch this up. I wish Karen Gillan, I thought it was Gillian, was 10 years younger to play Scarlet. Hell yeah, live action Resolute remake. But again, that's not even the point. It's just that this third act of Resolute, it's nothing but action, right? Go, go, go. And Resolute is highly regarded as the best G.I. Joe movie there is, because nobody knew what this Springfield was until they had to get there, right? They had to learn it. They had to figure it out. And then it's just all on freaking warfare. Yeah, she's still, oh, yeah, she looks good, man. Browncoat says Resolute, in my opinion, is the best G.I. Joe media right now. I absolutely agree. In fact, when that Wrath of Cobra, you know, sprite-based side-scroller beat-em-up came out, the intro to that game, I thought, man, if they made a cartoon like this, I would be all about it. But yeah, the way that Resolute just pays off in its third act is freaking fantastic. I'm probably going to get jacked for this. I don't see why I would. There's no audio. We got shit on the screen talking over it. Yeah. Resolute should be a mature animated series. I agree. That we talked, I love the Resolute version of the Hiss. They should have made this. I would have loved to have had that. We talked about how, you know, when Hasbro's given a decision to go left or go right, they're like, oh, well, you know, let's just face plant. not continuing Resolute, and I understand that there were outside factors why Resolute wasn't continued, but to go from this to Renegades, oh, this part right here. I mean, forget it. Yeah, sure, he's GI Jesus, but for him to show back up after all his business with Storm Shadow, and this is how you bring him back in the third act, and then he freaking throws his salute. Once again, kids, let me pause X right here. I'm proving a point right after he salutes. Let me prove this point. Okay. Take this off the screen. The argument that quote unquote rugged Duke is resolute Duke. Does rugged Duke have an eye scar? Nope. Does rugged Duke have army in real big block letters across his body armor? Nope. Does rugged Duke have an ear mic? Nope. He has a throat mic. We all know why, right? Because rugged Duke is fucking Energon Duke. And I will stress it all the time because, again, we talk about simps and fucking glazers and shills. Oh, well, BMAX says it's rugged Duke. I don't give a fuck what that guy says. We all know what Duke that was. It is such a great movie. I mean, to begin with Sebastian Blood dead on the steps of a monument in DC, like, you know, right off the bat, it's not going to be some goofy G.I. Joe. This isn't our childhood Joe. And then again, look, Scarlet wasn't ugly. I understand that Resolute has its own, you know, aesthetic with the jawlines and stuff, but she wasn't ugly. What they did to her in Renegades, where they made her look like a fucking potato, no, horrible. A mature Resolute animated series would be amazing. It was nice to see Tunnel Rat get some love. It was nice to see him doing a lot. Yeah, it was very cool. I 100% agree. Are those Storm Eagles? I don't necessarily want to say yes that they're G.I. Joe Storm Eagles from, what was that, 1993, 92, because Storm Eagles are 100% based on the YF-23. Whereas everything in Resolute is a little more future forward. I mean, look at the flag, right? It has that round conning tower. It has the two flight catapults. They're all just a little different. So I want to say those are, yes, based on the YF-23 and the Storm Eagle, but it's not like a one-for-one kind of a thing. Like, look at the Hiss, right? It's different. Same but different. And that's why I think Resolute worked so well. Yeah, Renegade Scarlet, fugly, 100% fugly. If I want advice on good tasting food, I'll ask BMAC. Nothing else. Oh.
It's science, people! Science!
The only thing he knows about rugged is the line at the buffet. I don't know. Like I said, sorry, this is just going to keep going off. I have something to do after the stream. I've only had one interaction with the guy. I've said it numerous times, and he was decent enough. He didn't pull that like, oh, well, I work at Hasbro. Anyway, trucking on. I wanted to, you know, reiterate that point, because anybody who says that's Resolute Duke is full of shit. They don't know what Resolute Duke looks like. It's not Renegades Duke either, because Renegades Duke is 100% based on Resolute Duke, and it's Energon Duke. But, you know, stands will stand, right? All right, driving on. CJ says, Rugged Duke doesn't look like Energon Duke to me. If it is, Hasbro done screwed up with the source material. He isn't dressed the same. Yeah, he is. Down to the throat mic and the beard. But yeah, this would be a good way to do a third act. And plus, I just wanted to show Resolute some love without just talking about, oh, yeah, they could cast this person as that person in Danny McBride's. Like Dreadnought says, we're all too old to even cast this movie. Not only that, I think everyone's too biased. You know what I mean? I just think too biased. Want to see this as that, but I think Resolute's the way to go. So we'll just leave it at that. We all know how it ends from here, but that's just something that I just wanted to share, get people's thoughts and opinions on it. Oh, hi, Callie. Are you coming to say hi? Come on. My dog wants to say hi. Hi, what are you doing? What are you doing? You saying hi? Come here. Come on, then. Oh, are we high-fiving? Yeah, hi, baby. She misses her dad. Her dad's been busy. 100%. Yeah, it's my dolly collie. We're gonna go on some adventures. I might go. Come on. I might go do some dolly hunting. Come here. Yeah, with my girl. We might go do some dolly hunting. Yeah, that's a good way to end a very awesome and productive second week of mandatory fun with the old dolly collie here, my baby. Hi. What you doing? Yeah. She loves her dad. I'm a collie fan, says CJ. Yeah, she's an Aussie Shepherd, but whatever. It's all kind of same. I don't know. When we rescued her, they said that she was a border collie. She's not a border collie. I mean, you can see that snout, right? 100% not a border collie. Brandon R says, I think there are great picks in talent, Goggins, Cooper, etc. But as voice actors in animated, it's already niche enough property in film. Might as well go animated and really swing for the fences. Sorry, let me kill this. The movie's still playing next to me. I agree that some stuff doesn't necessarily translate to live action as well as it does to animation. But at the same time, if you look at the larger picture, they get a little hand shy because Transformers 1 was awesome. Marketed like shit, but it was awesome. The story of the developing friendship between, not Megatron and Orion Pax, was it D whatever, D's nuts, and how they got to where they got. It was great storytelling. I mean, when I was watching that, I was like, shit, man, I wish that this was the development and downfall of the relationship between Obi-Wan and Anakin in the prequels. But I also agree with this as well. Joe to live action should be easy. Just, remake the Lamborghini Cheetah so they have their vamps and, do an M70 battle tank with a few little bells and whistles on it, strip it down. I've also argued, see, this is the thing with white dogs. I've also argued numerous times that it should be a period piece. But at the end of the day, again, writing, vision, execution. That's what's going to make it or break it. You could take the best script and ruin it in the execution. Everybody knows that Star Wars would not have been Star Wars without Marcia Lucas coming in and re-editing that whole movie and saving it. And you could cross hobbies and media and have the same argument. Resident Evil 2 would have been a complete disaster if they hadn't scrapped the whole game and started it over from scratch. Toy Story 2, right? John Lasseter, he, back before he got, Me Too'd and all that bullshit, which again, like we talked about with Blizzard and how all of that is just witch hunting because they don't like to be told like, hey, your work is shit. So then they just Me Too the fuck out of you. John Lasseter made them shit can Toy Story 2 and start over. And if it wasn't for that decision, Pixar, like, they needed a win. So Joe needs a win. I guess that's the end statement, is that G.I. Joe needs a win. I think that Joe still needs animation regardless. No matter what happens with Danny McBride's. But we are getting Energon Universe animated from what's his nuts. Sometimes the names, they just don't flow freely. I know what his name is, but yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about. We are still getting an Energon shared universe animated series, so you'll get your Transformers fix, and if you like Void Rivals, you'll get all that, the Joe, blah 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 blah. So yeah, they hire names, not thespians. Well, yeah, of course. No, I know it's Skybound Comics. I was just thinking of the dude. Robert Kirkman. Yeah. Oh, there it is. We got there at the same time. Yeah, Robert Kirkman. Exactly. The Energon Universe series could be good, especially with the way that I know that some stuff was changed in Invincible, and people argue, oh, they woke up some stuff. I'm not going to say they didn't, but Invincible handles the grittiness and the violence really well. I mean, people tune back in to watch somebody get, eviscerated and whatnot. So Energon definitely has a lot of that. And I would be really stoked. Hey, did somebody say lesbian? No, thespian. Thespian. Go back to sleep. I could get really pumped to see the Duke Starscream first encounter where Starscream just his friend. That might be cool, but we'll see how it is. The Titan says Transformers 1 had some serious re-edits, but still skewed to the villain. Megatron was the only one with an actual character development. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You're just like, oh, hey, look in the background. There's Soundwave. The point is that the movie was good. It worked well as an animated movie. The marketing was garbage. They made it look like it was slapsticky, like very juvenile humor. And a lot of people, me included, didn't go see it in theaters because of that. Like, I don't need to see an animated movie geared towards 6-year-olds about Transformers. Now, when I finally saw it, I was like, shit, man, I should have seen this in the movies. But that's on them, right? Not on us. It's their job to, coax or convince us to come in and see their films. It's our discretionary money. Don't make G.I. Joe for everyone, says Dreadnought. It dies with us, but make it for us while we're still around. Respect us, and it'll do well. It's simple. 100% agreed. I absolutely agree. Chucha says, I just hope that... We'll just turn that off. I'm sorry. I just hope they don't do something dumb like base their Baroness design on Gorlock. Gorlock the Destroyer. I need a Gorlock the Destroyer clip. I want to write that down. Gorlock the Destroyer clip. Here we go. Gorlock the Destroyer clip. It's in the notes. It's going to happen, kids. Yeah. 100%. Oh, that would be freaking terrible. Crystal Clear says, I thought TF1 was awesome. I'm glad to say I saw it in theaters. I'm glad you did too, man. Yep. You'll never visit that Greek island, huh? They say about never meeting your heroes. Sci-Fi Swamp Man says, my youngest loved TF1, and now she has a small collection of Transformers. That's cool. I think that's cool. Again, the argument is just to stress that it's all on writing, vision, direction, execution, marketing. Marketing is huge, and TF1 was failed by its marketing. Again, you can just point this argument in any direction, and there's a million examples. Look at the first Suicide Squad movie, not the Suicide Squad, but David Ayer's Suicide Squad. What he filmed, what was written, what was his vision and his direction is not what made it onto screen, because they brought in some bullshit MTV music video editor guy and they butchered his movie. You don't go from something like Fury to that Suicide Squad. No matter how people felt about Jared Leto's Joker. That's not the point. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nightmare fuel incoming. Yeah. You do need a Gorlock clip. I do. Yeah, that's going to happen. Dreadnought says TF1 wasn't bad. I was shocked watching it with my niece and nephew. Agreed. And that it solidifies, it strengthens the argument that the editing was not the editing, as you were. The marketing was so bad that I think only the most adventurous people were like, yeah, I'm going to go see it. Or the people with kids that they thought it was really marketed at. But when you watch it, it's freaking good, man. But I think we're just reiterating the same points over and over. But again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for another awesome week of mandatory fun. Yeah, each episode better and better. More concurrent, consistent viewership, and it's good to see that people are enjoying it. I like to hear when people are at work and they get to listen in, and maybe it makes their workday suck just a little bit less. I will be back Monday, of course, for mandatory fun. This Sunday, I will still have my usual Sunday live stream, 5 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I'm going to be on with Hinderer Collector. Again, I put a post here on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. So I'll be on with him. I guess I'm his first guest, or his first interview. So give the dude some love. Thank you all again very much. Again, always remember, tribalism and echo chambers are bullshit. And yeah, we got to safeguard our hobbies from the tourists and the fucking agenda freaks. Have an awesome Friday.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Please, by all means, offend me. I love it. I live for it. Remember, being offended is a choice, and you can't offend me because I don't fucking care. But I love you. I do very, very much. I bet it isn't. Make you leave? No, you got to go home now. Okay. Okay, bye. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Bye. So, still a couple of you here. I have a confession of the day. You know what we didn't do? Anybody know what we didn't do? We didn't end the poll. You guys are supposed to remind me to end the damn poll. We're gonna end the poll. Is that my fault? That's my fault. That's my fault. I'm gonna blame you guys. I'm gonna end the poll. I gotta remember. Which is worse? Cold slither or kiss? Cold slither is worse. 52% to 48% for kiss. Now there's no secret word today. We'll do one Monday. Yeah, cold slither's worse. The chat has spoken. The chat is law. You guys are the best. It's a never-ending poll. Somehow I'm not surprised. Just saying. I don't need either one of them. But there you go. Yeah, chat spoke. And I'll see you guys later. I'm going to see you out with this.